Hello and welcome to On Air with Odin, Gamemastering Pathfinder Dragonfall. Last time, we successfully put Jack back together. Had a bit of a chat, had a few drinks, and it was a good time all around, I would say. We saw a cute little Gorgon girl who seemed to be taking it upon herself to clean the place. And she was wearing a cute little blindfold, I guess, to stop herself from causing anyone any harm. And there was all sorts of other little creatures. And they had a good time. Just checking out you guys, seeing who you were, and Saphira made them toys. And so now it's the next morning and you guys have all woken up last time I checked. I think we left off just as everyone kind of got up.
And Saphira wants to do one last ride around the town now that we're not busy searching Jack, and well, she's fine if you're too hungover to do it.
I don't think anyone had a particularly bad... Oh wait, yeah. Sageheart made Alchemist Kindness, I think, to solve anyone who had a bad hangover.
We could just make a quick trek around town while Jack is doing his stuff. Mayor stuff? I don't know. Talking to his peoples.
Yeah, you could say that.
Because his peoples are confused as crap right now.
Alright, so... Unpause time. Scene go.
Field trip?
Where to?
Well, I think he said... this is some... Like he said to go north until you reach Port Tinker, and then try and find someone there who can sail you north from there.
Where are we going again?
I thought we had to see a wizard.
Oh, for the library?
Yeah,
Okay.
but you want to go right now, or?
Well, is there anything else around here we still need to do?
Well, we barely looked at the town. You don't want to do one last turn before we go?
I mean, we can. I'm not opposed to it.
Genevieve, you okay?
Yeah,
Stressful?
I'm good.
Tom?
If you wish to, I have no objection.
Okay, let's go.
Alright, you head out the office to the main streets of Nibelheim, and things like seem to be a lot more calm. There seems to be less tension in the air. There's a bit more confusion than there was, but they at least seem to be a little more relaxed.
Well, to make things faster, Saphira just had in mind of doing a quick trek around, like not stop anywhere, but pass by the streets.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't know much about this place. And she knows she's not gonna be back in a long time.
Yeah, so which direction did you want to head? Like, just anywhere?
I was thinking of going
Because there's the all-night
west.
market on the main bridge. Where's what, sorry?
I was thinking of going west first, like to do a around the town because it's kind of spherical, kind of.
Oh, it's like to head up to here.
Yep.
Yeah, you can see the wall that has been built to surround the building that's attached to Jack's office. And the rest of it, like over here, seems to be just like houses. There's small patches of parks dotted around. This here seems to be a theatre of some sort. You know, like a circular globe theatre kind of place.
Mm-hmm.
And then up here is just one of the strictly crossing over bridges, as it's a lot more narrow than the extremely wide one that's used for the marketplace. So you just head across. Let's see. On the left here you see a number of houses which seem to be, you can see between them here, to where there seems to be one of the city's graveyards. And you can see that this building here is a couple stories taller than like the surrounding buildings.
Okay.
And you can, even from where you are, you can kind of hear music coming from that direction.
Sounds like to me things are already back to normal-ish for you.
As far as normal is for this place.
Well, music tends to be something that happens when people aren't worried, I guess.
Yeah. Looking through to here, it seems to be like a small, like circular shops over there, and now you've got kind of a better angle, you can see that down here is what seems to be a casino of sorts. Like you can see kind of signs and people coming from there who are just talking about it, and it's also next to the main kind of hotel, or I guess in these days they call it an inn. Alright, cool.
Tom,
Yes,
what's a casino?
I don't know.
They look like they have fun.
One of the people passing you just stops and goes, "Oh, it's a fancy way of saying gambling house."
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Nice. You're welcome. He seems to be in high spirits, as he has quite a sizable coin purse on him.
Oh dear.
Like to the point he's having to carry it with his hand rather than on his belt. Okay, so you head past a whole bunch of more houses to here. Through there you can see one of the many greens. This one seemed to have like a pavilion for bands to perform on. And let's see, heading down that way would be... Oh, what the hell, why is it loading something? Okay, so just keeping going around in like a circuit, I guess you go kind of like between these.
Mm-hmm.
You go past one very large castle, which, as far as you can tell, is just a regular old castle. It doesn't seem to be any like signs on it or anything to dictate its purpose. It's not like this is a tourist trap with signs on everything. You kind of have to go through some of the more narrow streets, as the wider ones you were kind of following around seem to not go this way. And you're definitely getting into the more residential district. Like walking down these streets when you're not from here, is people just kind of like, what are those guys doing here? I mean, all the interesting stuff's that way. And you managed to find a reasonably straight path to head back to the river.
It seems the road's a bit more passable here.
Yeah, so you get to cross over the bridge. And this district seems to be not a slums, but it's definitely like a more just residential, more similar sized houses, no like extravagant ones in here. It's just I guess the common district, because it's not like nasty and like a slum would be. It's just like common housing. There's the I believe that was where the church was as well, if I remember correctly as to where I placed that. I think I did. I think I marked this as the church before.
Keyword was, and yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Well, just one part of it. You can still make sermons like somewhere else in the church.
Yeah.
Gonna have to wall off that part until it's repaired properly. It could have been worse.
Well, you can hear as you head past that area, you can already hear the hammering and sawing. It makes it sound like there's repairs. As well
I
as...
mean,
No?
Just chatting to Tom while passing by the church. You know, it could have been a lot worse. We could have rod of consolation this fierce first.
Mm-hmm.
And as you are heading around the city, you swear you just keep seeing Jack every so often. And he seems to, like, pop up, be like, hey, how are things? Yeah, I'm back. Everything good here? Okay, cool. And then just go. How quickly he's able to get around the city would boggle the mind, if not for the fact that you've been told quite a bit about Jack and how he is.
We know that he's basically a demigod.
Yeah,
so random walk teleportation isn't exactly beyond him.
Yeah. Here seems to be a cornered off area, which looks like it's as if this part of the city sunk into some form of tar pit.
Are they waiting to build another castle on it?
Well, they've already built 3, and you can still kind of see the what do they call it? The cockerel on the northeast southwest thing that lets the wind direction tell.
Windcock.
Doesn't sound right, but yeah, that thing.
At this point, stuff starts to get unusually silent.
Are you okay, Severa?
I wanted to go around town to check something. I think I need to talk to Jack.
Is there something wrong we should know about?
No, it's okay. I just have a few questions. You guys can get prepared to go. I just need to talk to him.
Heading up to here, you see this massive place is, despite having like the roof and that, is just from the roof down to the ground, just columns. And it's like a big open area where what seems to be like a big market is there. Like on top of the bridge market.
Is there a pet seller?
There is, in fact.
They got anything interesting?
So you're gonna head in and explore the market.
Well, I am. I don't know what they're gonna do.
Let's see what
Well, if Sephira's gonna go back to Jack's office. She feels like he's not the kind of guy who bothers locking stuff up. He has other measures to keep undesirables out, probably.
yeah. Okay. While I just
What
look
do I
stuff
got
up.
Yeah. When sent, we have to go north, I guess. Everyone will get ready to go out this way, I guess. Kind of a trek, but on the tank, I think it's not gonna take long. The street looks pretty wide on this trajectory.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So when you walk back into the office, it doesn't take long before Jack comes back and seeing you there, he's like, "Oh, hey,
Hi.
hey, what's going on? I thought you were exploring the town."
Well, I just thought about some things. I'm not bothering you, am I?
No, you're not. Don't worry about it. What is it you want to talk about?
I have a few questions, and if you don't want to answer them, it's fine.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, well, first things first. Are both of your sides at peace, or whatever state they like?
What do you mean? Oh, oh, you mean both parts of me, as it were?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry, they settled their differences long ago. I mean,
Okay.
if they hadn't, then I wouldn't exist.
I guess I'm too young to understand that. So I just wanted to know if they were okay.
Yeah, no, don't worry, they're fine. The way I hear it, both of them had become tired of the world in their own way, but didn't really have anywhere to go and wanted to still remain on this plane because there were still some things they liked about it, at least compared to some of
okay.
the others. And
Well, I've yet to learn anything, so give me 1,000 years, maybe.
alright, I should still be here when you're done.
And everyone's okay now, like,
Some of them are
we saw you
confused,
talk
but
Okay.
yeah,
And-
everyone seems to be fine.
You think anyone's gonna try to pull that shit again?
Hopefully not for a while.
Hmm.
Plus, the means in which they needed to get a hold of aren't exactly the easiest to get a hold of again. And
Okay. Like, I know I was just born, like I said earlier. I don't know if you remember that. Just that I know some things, vaguely, and part of me thinks I was never supposed to see a sphere of annihilation ever.
oh,
So I think I'm a bit confused about seeing two.
yeah, they're certainly. I mean, they're very powerful artifacts and not easy to get a hold of. Hell, saying not easy makes it sound too easy. It's without knowing the right people, it's damn near impossible to get a hold of those.
It sounds like it was something they planned for decades at minimal.
Yeah, I suppose. But as for those who remain, I like to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, well, I just hope there's no bad apples left.
Well, let's hope so. I know there's some people that supported their actions, but unless they make a nuisance of themselves, then they can continue being bitter and complaining to people, as long as they don't make life miserable for other people.
Well, some people do look a bit grumpy, but isn't it like that for every city anyway?
Maybe it's because you just got born, but some people of various species, even when they're smiling, they look grumpy. So
Ah,
it's
okay. Well,
so sure, some of them probably are grumpy. It's just that, well,
I shouldn't judge. I cannot even do anything with my face.
exactly. I mean, there's some people who are not like you, but there are some people who are made of stone and various other materials besides flesh. But yeah, you can. People are fine. I mean, if they
Okay.
weren't, they would probably leave.
And Ophelia is fine too. She's been really quiet since we've got done.
Oh yeah, she's just a little worn out. Don't worry about her.
Oh, she a bit shy? Something?
No, she's just. As I said, she's worn out.
Oh, okay. Well, I understand that. It's been a really rough bout.
Yeah, we just had a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, and I know Marjorie's is not waking up anytime soon, so tell her she should be very brave and everyone's proud of her when she wakes up.
Oh, don't worry, I've already told her. I mean, yeah, I mean, if not for her, then you guys wouldn't have shown up and I'd still be in pieces.
Hmm. I'm sure someone would have passed by, but it's better that we did it early.
Yeah, I mean, the sooner I got free, the better I, at least in my opinion, think, but you know, it's my opinion about myself, therefore I might just be a bit biased.
Well, I'm happy you're back together.
So am I. It was, not existing was...
Guys,
Weird.
I'm getting pulled in like 3 different directions. I'm gonna drop from the call for a little bit.
Okay.
No problem. Well, okay. Well, I'm gonna ask the main reason why I came to see you then, now that I got that out of the way.
Right.
When my mission is over, can I come back here?
Don't see why not. It's just a place as any. You can go wherever you like.
Hmm. Just, well, you know, I just wanted to be polite.
Oh, and I got something for you.
Huh?
And he kind of reaches into his coat and he's like rummaging around and he pulls out a what seems to be a leather-bound journal with a quill, and he hands it over to her. And like the spine of the book has like these tiny little teeth running up it.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that in my glittery backpack.
Just any time that you want to talk to someone, then just right away.
By someone, do you mean you, or?
Kind of. Okay, yeah, it's a gift from
Careful,
Samael.
Saphira, it's a Horcrux.
Oh, he wants to talk to me?
Well, yeah. I mean, you were.
Well, she's getting blubbery at this point, and instead of crying, her crystal flickers.
I got a text. Well, let's put it this way. I guess Samael wanted to be pen pals.
Well, it's so nice of him.
Yeah, well, he's kind of like that, and yeah. So that's it, really. It's a bit soppy for my taste, but yeah.
Huh? Oh, sorry, I'm just being a bit emotional.
Yeah, I know, and it's not situations I really deal with often, and but yeah, you keep up the good work. I mean, you know, I know that
Okay.
he's impressed and I'm impressed, so you know, you and your friends just keep doing what you do.
Okay, I'm gonna try to write as often as I can, but I don't want to talk about nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I mean, he's still got plenty to do where he is. It's just that, he just felt like giving that to you, I suppose. Because you seem to interest him, I suppose. Because, he's not seen one of your kind in a long time, neither have I, because, well, obviously.
Well, that's for reassuring me, I could tell you, like, I know I'm gonna ask a lot of questions, but I prefer it to be two-way.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm just gonna get some water before we go, because we're gonna be in the desert again.
Oh, yes, you're heading north to Port Tinker, right?
Huh?
Heading north to...
Yeah, the wizard.
Yeah, you gotta head north until you hit Port Tinker, and then you gotta try and find
Port
someone who will sail you further north to the next continent. But
Okay, got it.
knowing the people in that town, people can ask you for to do a favor first to pay for the trip. But that's just how they are over there. A lot of people are doing favors for one another.
Feels normal. I'm just gonna get that picture over there if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
She's gonna slowly pour it on her crystal. Getting emotional maybe eats my crystal up. It's weird.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go
Well,
check
I'm
on
not
the
gonna.
kids.
Yeah, I'm not gonna keep you away from your duties. Take care of yourself, Jack.
I shall. And
Goodbye.
see ya. He's just kind of trying to deal with the...
Hey, Duffy! Duffy, you there?
Yeah?
We can come back when we're done with the dragon thing.
Yay!
We're gonna come together. No one
Duffy
likes
wants
it.
animals. What's in the animal market?
There's a few black cats, and there is one jar that's like on the stand. It's quite a large jar, and as far as you can tell, it's empty. Do a perception check.
Ooh, perception. I like perception. Perception for this character is really stupid high. Hold on. Sorry, my food is here.
Nice.
Okay, my food is here, but in the other room. Also, I see all the things. Can we pause for half a second so I can
Yeah, just go grab it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Take care of somebody else doing shit in the market.
Okay. Anybody else doing anything in the market?
I have a sneaking suspicion Genevieve wants out. Her paladin sense are going nuts. At least that's a... I never played a paladin, I don't know. You know, sometimes I should ask Odin and Torn about how their damage works, because I don't get it. Of game.
Oh, you mean using the character sheet in Roll20, or?
No, I mean, how your damage output is that high, because I've never seen that before. I never played melee, like warrior types, damagers.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like the
Well,
magic swords
yeah.
we've been getting, magic weapons we've been getting, Personally, with Azure, it's because of 2-weapon fighting and a shitload of shots. But I pay for
So
it by
it's-
burning through a lot of ammunition.
So that's a trade-off.
Yeah,
Monies.
yeah, quite a bit of money, because alchemical rounds can get expensive.
Mm.
But yeah, that's...
You just that my cleric got upgraded too, but he's a support. He has no choice but to be a bit wimpy with his flail.
You still got all those awesome spells there as well.
Mm.
Okay.
Well, it still hurts, but you know, he's not. He never got the training of a warrior.
Yes, exactly. I guess you start relying more on your magic and stuff than your melee as you get higher in level. Your religious magic. Anyway, okay. So, I think I heard a Kiki get back.
Sort of. It turns out the food was not made correctly, so he's having to go back. But
Ah, man.
I
That
know.
sucks.
Very annoyed. At least
Well,
I
no.
have fries though.
Well, now we're going on a real field trip now that we got everything squared over.
Okay. So what's in the jar?
What's in the jar seems to be a translucent blue and nearly invisible jellyfish that's suspended in the water in the jar. It's a cube-shaped jellyfish that has 4 distinct sides and trails dozens of extremely long tentacles.
Nice jellyfish.
Oh, thanks. It's what they call a monstrous sea wasp. This particular one here.
What's it do?
Well, floats about in the water really, and you toss anything in there to feed it, it kind of stings it and sort of absorbs it into itself.
That's neat. I've never seen one of them before.
Ah, well. It's not often we get to find any because, well, they can be nasty little buggers. And, you know, you've got to have the proper warm water container to keep them in because, well, that's what they like, and I'm sure if the conditions aren't how they like, they will try quite viciously to escape. I mean, usually they'll hang around on like coral reefs, anywhere near the the mouth of a river where anything they could possibly munch on would just like flow out the river towards them. More like setting up ambush sort of hunters than swarming people sort of thing.
Is the top of it like open? Like could sound get to it? I want to talk to it.
You wanna like the jar is sealed, but it's like a stopper that has plenty of, like it's just a regular cork
if there's
stopper.
like air holes or something, I can talk to it probably.
I mean, if you talked loud enough, it might be able to hear you. It's just like it's more the water that would dampen the sound than anything else.
Okay, well, she's gonna like try to talk to it in Aquan and see if it understands her. She's gonna be like, "Hello, pretty jellyfish. Are you okay?"
Hello, I'm back.
Welcome back.
You're not a jellyfish. Shut up.
God, great, I can't hear me, but-
Eh?
You can't hear. Oh, you can't hear us again. God damn it.
Damn, that was a good joke too.
Suddenly,
Jesus.
Mario.
Maybe I can be a jellyfish later. I don't know. I got the colors and electricity down.
Well, when you try to talk to it, it kind of it moves its like tentacles as if like it heard you, but it doesn't seem able to respond in any form of language sense.
Hmm. Oh, anything.
If you're okay, swim in a circle.
Kind of just starts to kind of wiggle and bob itself to just kind of bump itself up at the cork and then drift around a bit in the water.
Aww. I don't think it's very happy.
Well, if we can afford it, it could be on your friend.
No, I can't take it with me. We'd have to set it free, which I'm for, but
Well, we're going to a port. We should be close to sea.
oh, okay. How much for the jellyfish?
Well, I mean, it should be fine if you wanted to keep it with you as like a pet. I mean, that's what I brought it here for. But all you gotta do is just chuck in like a fish or two, or hell, some form of crustaceans. Hell, these things, when something swims into its tentacles, can have been known to sort of feed on manta rays, stingrays, sharks, even whales. But that's more the larger size of this creature that do that sort of thing. But if you just wanted to take off my hands just to release it, then I don't know. With the amount of effort I went through to get it, I would rather someone, actually take it to keep.
Well, what would I have to carry around with me to take it to keep? I don't have like a tank and we travel a lot.
Yeah, that does
We
make
have-
it difficult.
We have a tank. I mean, cart that it can stay on.
Well, I suppose if you... I got these square water tanks that are for keeping fish in, and if you find some way to keep it secure in your cart, then it should be right, I think.
What do you think, Saphira? I feel bad for the little guy.
Well, we could keep him for a while, and if his spirits doesn't pick up with us, then we're gonna release it to sea, back to his family,
Or find somebody else who could take better care of it.
that too. Whichever happens first.
I mean, I wouldn't mind a new pet. Says the walking ferret with like 5 animals surrounding her, looking very expectantly at the pet keeper.
Well, I kind of know where you're coming from, because the animals are always at their lowest when they're at this point, between being out in the wild and having someone take care of them. I mean, I take care of them, but it's always at this point, the transition period, I suppose, that's when they seem to get a bit upset. But they always seem to be pretty happy once I sell them.
Maybe that's what it needs then.
Yeah, maybe
Someone
it
to take
just
care of
needs
it.
Normal home.
Well, if you want to be that home, then I'll take... trying to think what appropriate price would be for such a thing.
I'm pretty sure we can just get a tight lid, like it doesn't need hair holes.
Well, I mean, this... I mean, if you want a bigger container for it, then we've got these rectangular ones here. The glass lid just slides off, and just in case you wanted to, slide it half off just to drop some food in, it stops you having to lift the entire thing just to feed it. But let's see now. So I'm just looking up like pets in terms of stuff.
Hey Taffy, do you think it likes me?
I don't know. I'm not even sure it likes me.
Well, it talked to you. Well, moved at you.
No, it didn't really talk to me. I'm kind of guessing at this point.
Well, I don't think they really do, talk. I mean, only certain species are capable of speech, even in their own sort of animal language. I mean, it doesn't make any calls or anything like that. It's just just bobs around, waiting for something to swim into its tentacles.
Well, it's worth a shot.
Well, you seem to be, good people, and if I'm not mistaken, you're the folks that got Jack back. And,
Yep.
Alright, well, a jellyfish and one of the large containers, I'd say go for about 50 gold altogether.
Huh.
Okay. That sounds nice.
Alright, should I pour him straight in there then?
I guess.
Or do you want to try and fit the
Yeah, we should put it in the tank first to see if it fits at all.
Okay.
I
I'm gonna
mean,
put him in a corner. Or... I really want to learn its gender to be respectful. Jeez.
No.
Huh?
I collect all sorts of pets, and some of them I just give up trying to tell.
Hmm.
But if you
Well,
want to, well, wherever your wagon is, I can bring the tank over. We can see about getting it secured.
Okay. It's over there, and she'll point to wherever the hell we left the cart.
I think we left it between the Jack and Marketplace.
Probably.
Yeah, I
think
think
it
it
was
was like
like-
there.
You...
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Can you hear us
Was
now?
that-
What the hell?
It sounds like cannon fire.
Ben? Ben?
Or not.
Alright, well, give me a second. I'll go get someone to mind the stand, and he whistles, and this big old hound just jumps up on his seat and just kind of just looks around at people.
Hey,
Tuffy
Tuffy.
says hi to the doggy.
The creature resembles a thin, rather lanky wolf with reddish-brown fur, white claws, and burning, fiery eyes. It just barks back at you.
It said hello?
Tuffy tries to hand it a treat.
Oh, is this time the one? Hey, Ben.
Ben!
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. It sniffs it and just kind of laps it up.
Good doggy. Okay, we
You-
can
you-
go.
The point of contact where its tongue met your hand feels extremely hot.
That tickled.
Oh, that was cute.
The doggy's kind of like you, Saphira.
Aw.
After swallowing down the tree, it kind of just gives a kind of little sort of like row of like thanks at you. A little bit of flame comes from its nose.
That's a hot dog. Eh?
But not that kind that's for eating.
Should we try and like restart the call again?
Yeah, sure.
Like Kel, just pick it back up and see if that'll let Ben fix his problems.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that.
I think the cannons in the background are the bigger problem.
I thought that was just a problem with his microphone.
It's a hell of a microphone.
You can hear her back to like 1868.
How do we even have a connection here? Alright, I'll go ahead and call back then.
Okay.
Mhm.
And we're back. Maybe.
Hello?
It's like
Hello.
Phineas and... Kiki, have you ever seen Phineas and Ferb?
Not really.
Okay. There's one
What?
where they end up on Mars and it's like, Candace, hand me your cell phone. Wait, how is it I have bars here?
Yeah.
I learned that the reason why the pet is a platypus, they were afraid of the Disney pet effect, like kids watching the show and looking at the pet and not caring for it properly. Because
like all
even
those
if
kids that flushed their fish after Nemo. Oh
Yep.
God.
they all ended
That's
up
how
in
I learned the ending of that movie, is because CNN was doing a story on it, and they're like, yes, okay, we know Nemo gets back to the ocean by being flushed down a toilet, but this will not work in real life. And I was like, well, spoiler alert much? Like,
Well, with Phineas and Ferb, even if a kid wants a platypus, well, you cannot have one legally.
yeah.
And they're not blue.
However, are we casting right now?
We're still casting, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No personal.
No, it's just, there may, a joke about ferrets may end up on TV because of me, and that's all I can say about that. So.
Alright. Okay, so the guy carries the glass container. Tank, that's it, that's what we call a tank. Over to your tank, and heading inside, he kind of looks for a spot. In fact, one of the wheel arches, or axle arches really, seems to be an appropriate place, and he kind of gets a few straps of leather and a couple of screws and basically straps down the tank to one of the blocky sides. So it's not like on the floor, it's kind of next to, kind of, you know how wagons inside kind of have like benches for people to sit on for when there's not storage back there?
Yeah.
It's on one of them.
Okay.
And he kind of grabs what it's resting on and tries to shake it and see if it moves, and it doesn't go anywhere. Well, that looks like that should be fine. And
Thank you, sir.
the way he's
Yeah,
kind of the way he's kind of screwed it down, the lid slides lengthways out what would be like the right hand side of it if you're looking directly at it, because you know it's like a rectangle shape, so it's like the long side, short sides on each end, then long, and it slides out.
The name of the town
Yeah.
is Niflheim, right? Nimbleheim?
Nimbleheim, yeah.
Nimble. Netafir got a name for a friend. Nimble.
I was gonna name him Squishy.
Well, we can go with yours too.
The pet owner chuckles and just goes, "Alright, well, I'll let you think about that while I go get him."
You don't think Squishy is an adorable name? I think Squishy is a...
Well, it's adorable, but it sounds like I don't know. I don't think it likes to be squished.
No, I don't mean that you should squish. It just looks squishy.
It looks more jelly to me.
Yeah, but who'd name a pet Jelly? That's stupid.
I would.
The guy comes back
Maybe
and
he's Nimble Squishy.
Okay,
Yay! He's Mr. Nimble Squishy.
good.
the guy comes back and he slides the lid of the tank off, and he pours a big like container of water into it just to get it mostly full, and then with the large jar that he had the jellyfish in, he lowers it, like submerges his hand in the water and pours it out that way, so he's not like making it fall out and drop into it.
Yeah.
And he kind of does it so he's tilting it and then lifts the jar out as he's tilting more. And you know, it's hard to see in the tank, but you know he's there, you know. Oh,
Somebody's
and
gonna...
until you manage to get some more, I think you might need these, and he like puts down a little wooden box. And it smells rather strongly.
Is it like little thing?
Yeah, it's like sardines or little fish or whatever.
Okay. Nifty. Thank you.
You're welcome. It kind of prefers if its food is still alive, but you know you can't always get a hold of that sort of stuff, and so these should carry you over until you manage to get some more.
Alright.
All right. Well, I better get back to my shop. You take care now. And he
Okay, bye.
heads off.
Thank you.
Hey, Tuffy,
Yay.
you're gonna remind me to give you like 25 gold the day I get money because I don't have anything, and I feel like that might bet too now.
That's okay. Tuffy had more than enough. She's not worried.
No,
Money is only useful for buying pets and weapons. So
When you say bye as he's already walking away, his tail just like waves at you, rather than turning around.
cute.
Well, I guess we're all set then. We can go wizard.
All right. So you don't want to no more stops in the market that you want to make.
Not really.
Tuffy is gonna send the bird out and like tell it to go get some like fresh fish or crabs or something from the river, since there's that nice big river.
All right. He flies off and goes looking.
That way the jellyfish can have some fresh food. But other than that, I'm kind of ready to go whenever.
Well, about an hour passes and the raven returns. And he's got some weird, like what looks like an eel in his beak.
Cool.
You
I
ca-
thank the raven and I give him some seed for a good job.
Yeah.
And then I take the eel and I drop it into the tank with the jellyfish.
The eel's kind of in panic mode right now and just wiggling about, and when you drop it in the water it seems to calm down a bit and just swim around, and it swims right into the it's like a lot easier to see the tentacles once there's like the black of the eel to contrast against it, and within seconds it just stops moving.
Cool. Tuffy's like, welcome home, Mr. Nimble Squishy.
You see this slight bioluminescent blink from its main body.
Zephyr's gonna try to blink at it.
Unfortunately,
Don't
you
strain
can't make.
yourself, sweetie.
Unfortunately, you find yourself unable to make your crystal blink on command. It crackles,
Aw.
but doesn't blink.
Aw. I probably have to be sad for that to happen. Like, really sad. Upset? Ah,
So where's everybody else?
they're not in the cart?
Are
Hello?
we all in the cart now?
Where's Genevieve? Why has she just been following them around?
Pretty much.
Oh,
Okay.
hi.
Ben's still not back. Maybe he's restarting again.
I think Tom's hiding. He's a ninja after all. Huh.
Satrart's just nonchalant about everything. She just doesn't really care one way or another. Okay. Well then.
Traveling music?
I guess traveling music, because I'm wanting to make sure that nobody has anything else to do in the city.
Yeah, I've pretty much done the big thing. I'm ready to go.
I mean, as long as we didn't need any, like, important supplies or anything.
Not really. You had enough.
Yeah, I thought so.
I assumed that we refilled our water skins on the way.
As you're getting ready to go, some people kind of crowd around and approach you. Like just as you're starting to move towards the main road. And it seems that word has very quickly gotten around town that, you know, you brought back Jack and you basically saved the town from a new regime. And people actually start giving you gifts. Like various simple things, such as, you know, certain food, drinks, including various ales and wines. Some minor kind of like handmade jewelry and stuff like that. Nothing like super fancy, but just, you know, humble gifts, I suppose, and supplies.
Aww. He's like really nice to everybody and just keeps saying thanks.
Thank you. You don't have to. We just did what you.
There's this guy who looks like he's made out of freaking black marble, and he's just standing there at the side of the road with his arm crossed, just looking like just completely blank face. And this little girl who looks very similar comes up to you and gives you some stuff, and she just runs back to him, and he kind of looks down and just nods, looks back at you.
Thank you.
So, yes. He nods in response to your wave.
Well, I guess that for us, I wore a lot of bracelets now.
Bracelets, necklaces.
Yeah, but she wears the necklaces as bracelets because no neck.
Yeah.
They wouldn't melt.
And with that, they kind of, you know, get out of your way, and you head out of the town.
I thought we were going north. Okay.
Well, there's only one entrance to Nibelheim, so you have to head out the gate you came in.
I guess there are 2 doors for somewhere else.
What? Did I miss a door? Oh, the northern door. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna pretend it's not there.
Yeah, pretend it's not there. It's not.
Probably just get a big dang window.
You know, it's like not being used in years kind of thing.
Yeah, it's
kind of got
rusted
stuff
shut.
built all over it. Alright, so back to the wasteland, I suppose.
Oh yay, the wasteland.
Okay, bye.
Wait, hold on! And looking back, you, as you leave through the gates, you see a familiar dolly running after you.
Aww. Hello, sweetheart.
Marjorie, I thought you needed more sleep.
I'll get some in a minute. I just heard that you guys were leaving. I thought I'd just come say, like, thanks, and so, bye.
Aww. Tuppy will give the doll a hug.
No, your face is so fuzzy.
It is. Bruiser's way more fuzzy than me, though. Mine's only on my head. I'm very sad.
Zephyr is gonna pat her on the head because she's not sure if the wood is treated.
Bruiser just
Dolly.
kind of nuzzles over, like nuzzles her hand.
She giggles and kind of climbs on Bruiser for a bit.
Bruiser's very happy. He's like, I'm a red dog now.
Like, she doesn't actually, like, get him moving, but she kind of does the whole, like, woo!
Yeah.
I'm writing something.
Bruiser stamps his paws a little bit to like give her some movement.
She giggles, she the guy gets down, and she's like, okay. I better go to sleep.
Okay, we'll miss you. Bye.
I'm gonna miss
Rest, rest well.
I will, and I'm gonna miss you too, and I'll maybe see you some other time. Hopefully. Just come back
Bye.
and see me anytime. Okay. Bye.
Bye. See you later.
You guys running off because she's got to get back inside before she flops.
Ah,
I love how we have like the world's most adorable adventuring party. And then like Tom and Genevieve are just like the parents who follow us around to keep us out of trouble.
Mommy Paladin.
And Sage Heart's just like the crazy aunt who lives in the basement.
So you head north for what seems like another week, and you can start to see what seems to be the walls of a city ahead of you. And roll a perception check.
Really?
Really, really.
The fuck?
Stupid dice.
I thought I put 9. Oh.
It's meant to be a
Is yours
plus 9.
supposed to be a +9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tuffy's too busy making the horses go in a straight line to notice anything.
She's telling the horses all about Mr. Nimble Squishy.
And Genevieve and Saphira, you look off to one of the sides, to the east in fact, and you notice what seems to be like just like one or two trees in what seems to be just a slightly grassy patch in the middle of all this nothing.
Huh?
And you see movements of some large creatures that seem to be guarding it or using it as their home.
Hey Genevieve, do you think we should bother them?
I would rather we didn't. They seem to be guarding something.
Doesn't feel like our business.
Do you want to roll a knowledge, nature, or arcana? I think both would work for identifying these things.
I can't do either, so...
Derp.
Is that enough? I think that should be enough. You know what they are. You've just like never seen one in person before. Obviously.
I ain't seen nothing. Okay.
No, you know what they are. Just think because they stand out quite a bit. It seems that a family or a pack or whatever you want to call it of owlbears has made those few trees their home.
Oh dear. Whole bears.
Yep, owlbears.
I think we should leave them alone. I don't think whole bears are really on the talkative side, usually.
Probably not.
I mean, they have claws and a beak. And I heard stories that they really don't like being bothered.
Yeah, you're far away enough that you're not even sure they see you, but they follow you.
Happy just keeps the horses moving.
Alright. You pass by the little wooded patch and get close to the city. And soon enough, you guys, you see this big sign hanging above the gate, which is kind of like ramshackled and crappy, and it says Port Tinker on it.
Ah, zoom out.
Yay, no desert. Oh dear, it's big.
It's huge.
So you find yourself coming in from the southern road. Just ignore the grass in the south of the map.
Just to reassure you guys, I don't want to explore out this whole place. Dear me.
Yeah, it's not got a massive wall around it like some places, but there are like gatehouses along the road. And you see all sorts of people who are here, especially as you get closer. There seems to be a number of goblins, in fact. And what sounds like thunder in the distance.
That's not good, right?
I don't know. It could just be like, machinery. I'll be right back. You guys keep going.
Okay.
So let's see.
The sound of thunder continues, and it just echoes across the entire city. Suddenly coming from north of you, and it doesn't seem to always be the exact same timing between them.
Hang on.
That's a nice tune.
Yep, welcome to Port Tinker. Sorry, we have two people away now from the sounds of it.
Maybe lower it a tiny bit because I think it's gonna drown out Ben if he comes back.
It is? It's so low on my end.
Huh. That's a lot better. It was like just a notch.
Mm.
Okay, brain, please work. Port Tinker. We're
Sorry.
supposed to ask about the wizard, but let's see. I don't remember. Were we supposed to go north of the place or at the docks to ask about this?
He said that you need to travel to the continent north of this one. So you would have to get
So,
to the
but-
port and ask someone to take you north.
Okay, so no information here, just to get a boat.
Pretty much.
And I don't think I need anything to buy anyway. Like, I don't need materials for my stuff. That's the thing with sorcerers.
That was louder than I thought it would be.
What was?
Me trying to save this file.
Okay. But does this adjust it for me or you guys? That's me. As you head further up the road, you notice that to continue up into the city more, you've got to cross what seems to be a small bridge that goes straight over what seems to be a crack in the earth itself.
Yee.
And you can see it running like all the way along here.
I heard of groundbreaking, but this is ridiculous.
It's funny, but I really didn't expect that joke out of you of all people.
Me? What? Hang on.
God damn it, real life. Why you gotta do this to us? Then again, you run into the same sort of problems when you're trying to do this sort of stuff in person anyway. People getting phone
Yeah.
calls and all that shit, yeah.
I don't like Fridays.
Yeah.
Oh, they just took off, so my mom's texting me and it's like, "What do you want for supper?" I don't know. I'm not even really thinking about dinner right now.
Do reverse psychology, it always works.
I
Maybe.
already know what they want.
Yeah, what places they're going to?
Where do you think they're going?
Burgers.
Mm-hmm.
Cigarette flavored burgers.
Oh.
Like it's just a pile of cigarette butts between two buns.
That's all they're about to taste because of how much they smoke.
Yep.
Smoking gives you cancer and fucks up your taste buds.
I think I just vomited a little in my mouth.
Dear me, sorry. Well, to finish myself, I'm gonna get McDonald's later.
Punish yourself with McDonald's. That sounds rather appropriate. Yeah. I guess you can see if, like, you can. Don't think you can get a salad from a burger joint.
You can get salads from McDonald's, just don't pour a lot of the dressing on it.
Oh,
That's
it's
where,
McDonald's ones. Okay.
that's where it really tends to kick you in the ass. Oh, and get the chicken. Like, if you get like one of the chicken ones, you want to get it grilled. Don't get it like crispied or anything like that.
Meh.
I don't trust chicken from McDonald's anyway. Well, except I guess the nuggets. I don't eat there. I've not eaten there in months, actually. May have been a full year by now, actually.
Didn't Jack mention something about a trial here, or is that later? Genevieve?
Wait, what now?
Jack told me about having to do a favor to someone, but I forgot if that's here or when we're at the wizard.
Alright.
I guess we'll find out if someone has to ask us to do something then.
Well,
I mean, we're not exactly subtle on the adventuring front.
as your carriage rides through the town, you see all sorts of people here. There's a very large amount of like gnomes and goblins and even some orcs, half-orcs, all those sort of species. You swear you even sometimes, occasionally, just for a brief second in the corner of your eye, you swear you see drow. But by the time you look around to try and check if you saw a drow, they're not there.
Pity. I like drow.
You do?
Yeah, they're alright.
I think I saw a buggle.
I like to think Jen is just not really opposed to drow, just never really, you know.
Well,
Like, she's read about them, but not really ever met one.
Didn't they have a reform recently? In Genevieve?
Did a what?
Some- Well, something about drow being all evil, but recently we found out it's not that.
I believe so.
This random conversations of things they think they've heard.
Eh.
And I'm back. Sorry.
Welcome back. So yes, you have arrived in Port Tinker, and you see that there is like a few cracks in the earth that they've kind of ramshackled bridges over. And there's all sorts of species here, as I've said. I'm just catching Kiki up. Like, you know, there's goblins, gnomes, half-orcs, full-on orcs, boggles, all those sorts of species that you certainly wouldn't have seen up in the Dragon. And also, while you may have seen some of them in some of the other cities, they seem to be in the majority here.
Goblin?
Goblins and other sort of monstrous humanoids.
Okay. If there's so many of these kind of people, I guess they like mechanical stuff. Crafting.
Well, you do see some people who are like trying to sell stuff just on the street. You know, they got random objects just that they're trying to sell, like from their hands, like no stand or anything. You hear people shouting, sort of like just trying to barter. People calling out about deals and that, and the thunder is getting louder the further north that you get. And as I said, the thunder isn't always like at the same rate. It's just like quite sporadic sometimes.
I want to know what the noise is.
Alright.
Man, I hope there's no earthquakes anytime soon.
You can see as you're going by, there are people kind of like eyeing up your cart as you head by. There's a Ben.
Fucking finally I can hear you guys.
Hey!
Yay!
We just had a random banter. You're gonna be able to see it on the stream.
Yeah, we were kind of stalling, but yeah, we made it to Port Tinker.
Are we stalling for time?
Of course not.
No!
Goblins, buggles.
It's all a part of
So
world
what's the
building.
noise?
What's the noise? Well, as you actually get to see the water, you see that it's not thunder at all. You see what seems to be a number of ships firing upon some of the docks.
What the shit?
Are we under attack?
Probably not you personally, but as you say that, you kind of hear a as a cannonball just hits a building next to you.
Ah,
I suggest we move back into the market district.
I would have preferred thunder. I understand thunder. Ah.
You know, this wasn't something I exactly expected to face today.
You can see many cannons mounted on here that are firing back, and some ships that also seem to be firing back. But yeah, it seems they're having a bit of a scuffle out in the water right now. So you're gonna do a handle animal check on the horses, because they got frightened by that.
I can indeed see. Let's see. Okay.
Alright, you managed to gather the horses and calm them down a bit, and with a quick bump up onto the sidewalk, as it were, and a swift turn, you managed to rear the wagon around and start heading back down and towards the market district. Which you don't exactly know is the market district, you just were heading away from the water, I suppose.
Yeah.
Run!
Drive.
When you get to the what seems to be a crossroads in the middle of the market district, there seems to be a number of carts kind of blocking the way, all selling various fruits and items, so various shells and other, what do you call them, interests, or god damn it, I forgot what they call. There's like a specific word for when you're selling them. what these kind of things are. You know, trinkets and odds and sods, really.
Okay. I love how you considered that and then went with the most British way possible. I applaud you, sir.
Yeah, but no, if you, like, you know, in King's Quest, if you go into the magic shop, it'll say, like, there's magic trinkets, potions, and...
Sundries?
Not sundry, but, you know, things that are just, like, to catch your interest, pretty much.
Yeah.
Curiosities, I think is what they call it. With the amount of traffic moving through this market district, you slow down to a snail's pace. And you suddenly hear a voice. Hey! Are you up there? Could you stop a sec? Down here! Hey!
Tuffy slows the horses down to nothing and looks down.
Looking down, you see a... Well, you see what seems to be a young goblin girl. I mean, she may be young, you can't quite tell, you know, goblins are always short. She seems to be dressed slightly provocatively. And as if she's meant to catch eyes as well as ears. Hey, thanks for stopping. I noticed a hap in your wagon. Rather impressive piece of work there. But
well, while she's talking, Tuppy turns around and catches Tom's eye and just starts flicking her eyes about.
Yeah, Tom's watching.
And Tuppy is like nothing but kind to the girl. Like,
well, listen, me and Mama, she's well, she's trying to get some business going, and well, we found ourselves a little short on stock, and we thought that since you guys seem to be the kind of sort that maybe want to go on a little adventure, then maybe you could help us out. Which is a perception check.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Tuppy's doing one of those too.
Jeebus.
Tuppy's like, don't worry guys, I got this.
You see that
Tuppy's nose.
you do see there's quite a few eyes on you. Like, there's some people that kind of just like walk past the wagon and kind of looking at it and checking out its details, as it were, but no one seems to be trying to make a move right now.
Quick, Tom, intimidate check.
Whereas you can tell pretty much that the goblin is like a 32, 28, 32 with a leather dress on.
She has a mole just under her left eye. No, So, what kind of adventure?
Well, as you probably can tell, we've had a bit of a pirate problem as of late. Well, more so than usual, and not the fine kind of pirate folk that we usually get around here. We've had these ones that seem to be trying to raid anything that's not yet docked. And their aim, of course, in the scuffs has led to a few injuries inland. And, well, apparently a lot of the ships they scuttle hasn't exactly made it this far, so there's a lot of cargo that kind of washes up on the shoreline. And since nobody kind of owns that stuff anymore, I thought that if you manage to get out there and procure any of it, then, you know, we'll give you a decent amount of coin for each sort of crate of goods you can recover. And I don't know, I'm not exactly primed to go out there and do it myself, since we never know when some of the pirates might try and recover some of that stuff.
Well, we'll think about it and tell us how to get a hold of you if we do.
Oh, I should be right here. I mean, I'm never far from my mama. She's often busy with work, and so if she needs anybody to do a few jobs for her that she hasn't got people doing already, then she kind of sends me out here to work the corner and catch people's eye and see if they're interested.
Okay. Well, thanks for the opportunity, and we're going to talk about it, okay?
Alright, well, it's not like you have to make it your main goal. Just if you see any on the way on your travels around here and bring some back, then that'll be swell.
You'll be our first stop.
Okay, thanks.
Alright, bye.
Oh, my name's Trixie, by the way.
Oh, okay, I'm Tuffy.
Okay, nice to meet you, Tuffy. Hey, I've never actually seen, like, whatever you are before, so don't mean to be rude or nothing, but what are you?
Does Tuffy know that she's called an animus? We never actually figured that out.
If
Like, how many of her species has Tuffy ever met?
I guess it's if she had this train of thought before, she probably would have looked it up. It's like, wait a minute. If at any point someone else arsed, or she arsed, looked in the mirror and was like, what even am I actually? But, if she hasn't had that thought and looked it up, then probably
Well,
not.
because I know we decided that she just kind of woke up one day and she doesn't really have any clear memories, and that only happened about 3 years ago, so...
Yeah, because that's kind of how animals work. They just wake up
Yeah.
places.
She says, I'm not really sure. I've heard a word called animus, but that may be it, but I don't really see many of me either.
Oh, well, kind of makes it super special, I suppose. But, okay. Well, she's gonna start talking, and then suddenly you hear, Oi, Trixie, I got a spare 15 minutes, coming here, would you? Coming, Mama? And she just runs off into the house behind her.
Animus.
That was weird. Okay. Tubby just kind of tries to get the horses moving as quickly as they can through the slow marketplace.
Yeah, with you, Matt.
Any idea where we're headed? Guys?
We are headed north after this.
Well, weren't we here to, get a ship or something?
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, that's not gonna happen, so...
yeah, I don't think those guys are gonna be like, oh, you're not part of this port. Oh, we'll let you free. I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, it'd be nice if it worked that way, but
So we've either got to get rid of the pirates or figure out a different port.
You're not from around here, are you? You hear another voice pick up,
God.
and this big hulking figure of what seems to be a stone golem kind of steps in front of you.
Hello?
Up here, and you have to look up a bit, and you see this goblin fellow who kind of just on top of the golem. I mean,
He's just riding Master Blaster style on the golem.
yeah, he seems to have this whole leather seat on top of its shoulders.
Oh, I thought it was a fellow construct.
Well, there's a fellow construct. It's just working right now.
Okay.
It's a
Tuffy tries to say that in the nicest way possible.
Oh, what, you mean the rocks, do you? Yeah. Don't worry. He's well paid and well taken care of. And this guy is wearing this long, velvet looking coat. And he's got this a big old cigar in his mouth, and he's got this...
Wearing a goblin for a hat.
No, the goblin is dressed like this. Not the golem.
I know, but the golem is wearing a goblin for a hat.
And a fancy one at that.
He's got like these sovereign rings on, like a sovereign necklace. Like, you know, trying to look like he's much richer than he may be.
Yeah, we're new.
Well, the first thing you should be really knowing is that you're in the market district right now, if that wasn't obvious. A lot of very nice people around here trying to sell their wares, and you know, everyone on the up and up trying to make their way. So where is it you're looking on going? I think I heard something about you wanting to head north.
Yes.
Alright.
We were wanting to hire passage on a ship, but that doesn't look like it's going to be possible.
Oh, that'll pass in a few hours. Meanwhile, you could spend time in the city, you know, kind of enjoy the place. If you're looking for any sort of cheap goals, or basically any items that are basically going pretty quickly, there's always the sinkhole down to the south east of the sea. Because everyone around here, they're all paying their ground rent for their stalls and their shops, as it were. Whereas over in the sinkhole, you don't have to pay a penny. But as the name suggests, you're basically on a time limit from setting your stand until it sinks into the hole. So yeah, things go pretty quick over there, and pretty cheap too, especially if they're getting pretty close to the middle of it. But hey, I'll tell you what. For 5 silver, I can give you a town map.
5 silver.
Oh, a very fine map this. Very fine parchment. It will last you 100 years, if not more.
I can be the judge of that.
Well, if you want to.
I'm just muttering this under my breath. Hopefully he didn't actually hear it.
Tuppy just kind of waits for Tom or Genevieve to do something.
You're saying that you can produce a map of the city that's worth 5 silver? I wouldn't pay more than 3 copper for it.
Oh, well, that's awful nasty of you to say without even seeing it first. And he kind of turns around and reaches into this big pack that's on the back of the golem. He rummages around and pulls it out. He pulls out what seems to be a map case. Ta-da! Right, here we go. Now
Does
let's
it even
see
have
here.
the right name for the place on it? Tinkerport, that was it.
Port Tinker. Yeah, he pulls it out and he's like opens the map case, pulls it out. He gets this what seems to be like a table that basically sits on the golem's shoulders that he then sits down behind. And he lays it out, and it's of course a lot bigger than the table because he's only got like a small table and it's a full-size map. And it seems to be made on like some form of hide.
You said this was made of parchments?
Not this one. Most of my maps are, but I guess I've only got some of the high ones left here. They're well, they're more weather resistant. You know, you get paper wet and off it goes.
Of course, hot, if not properly treated, subject to mold and mildew and other disgusting things that parchment is usually used.
Well, sorry. Well, it's been in that sack for God knows how long, and I don't see any mildew on it at all. Do you? See if we can swindle a phrase.
And you're going to charge me 5 silver for this map.
With the case, of course.
I'd pay just a silver for the case and the map.
Oh.
I don't think it's worth 5.
Oh, come on now, sir. I mean, have a look at this. And he kind of like hands it over. What the hell? I'm seeing 3d20s right now.
Sorry. I think I accidentally hit something wrong.
Yeah.
So does Saphira know if it was a good deal or not?
There, that's what I was going for.
What was that? Sense motive? Or appraise?
Appraise.
Yeah.
Oh, you want an appraise roll? Okay. We'll do an appraise roll.
Well, I got a 16.
Yeah, I got a 14.
Thanks. And like I was
Damn.
just watching it. Oop, but
Alright, well, you're looking at it, you think that, if it's made of hide and will last a long while, then sure, it should be okay. I mean, checking it over, which he allows you to do, the ink work for the map itself seems extremely detailed. There's actually like little flaps on it that you when you lift them up, it actually, like, on the bottom side of the flap has a bit more detail on like what district it is and what you can kind of find there. And then when you lay it flat, it doesn't disrupt the map at all, or at least, by barely anything. And whether or not that actually makes it worth the 5 silver he's asking for is another matter. Because, I mean, sure, it's got a bit of extra flavour to it, but it's still just a map, But yeah, as I was saying, oh, that's this one, that's the tourist map. Alright, cool. Alright, he's kind of like checking over it. But yeah, this is of Port Tinker, and it's partially parchment. The main base of the map is hide, so that you can roll it up and it should be pretty watertight. Whereas these little parts here have notes on what part of the city you're in and what sort of might be good to see around there. These are parchment because, getting hide to bend that way can sometimes make it crack, once you dry it out properly. So I just went with parchment on that, and as long as you keep it rolled up in the hide, then it should be fine. It should be not be able to get too wet, and even if it does, the main map is still underneath it. But you know what? You seem like folks who don't come to these sort of places very often, and as a gesture of goodwill, I'd say I'll meet you in the middle and say 3 silver.
Done.
Alright, well, very nice to be in business with you. And he kind of like rolls it up, sticks it in the map case, and he kind of holds it out to you.
Tom passes him 3 silver.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I'm gonna go probably get a couple of drinks for that. Speaking of which, if you want somewhere to pass the time, and perhaps even if find someone who might be able to sail you somewhere, then if you head over to the just down that road to your left there, head along there to the more fancier places, you may find Shaz's Dive. You can't miss it. It's got a big old sign right out in front of it. Biggest tavern you ever see. Well, it's also the inn, but yeah, most people go there just for a drink anyway, and usually end up getting coughed up for a room when they pass out in one of them. But yeah, alright, good, nice doing business with you. I will see you around later. If you ever want to barter for anything else, you can't miss me. I'm on Rockster here, and alright, well, you take care and see you around and whatnot. Alright. He kind of sits back down, puts the table away, and kind of pats the golem on the shoulder, and he goes, "Hey, let's get moving." And the golem starts shambling off.
I think if we did go to such a place, we probably ought to have somebody watch the cart.
I would. What? I cannot drink.
Well, you could, but it would probably catch on fire and explode.
What?
What?
All right. I thought you meant the tank. I mean the cart. If I stayed in it.
No, I was...
You mean the alcohol?
Yeah, you said you couldn't drink, so...
Well, I don't know yet. I just don't want to cause another fire until I know for sure.
Sage
Well,
Heart
we'll save
speaks
it
up
for
and
another
goes, I'm not really too interested in drinking. I'm going to be making up some infusions anyway, so I can just stay in the cart.
You guys can stay and play with Mr. Nimble Squishy.
Yay, Nimble Squishy. I'm gonna try to communicate with it. I'm gonna get it someday. I'm gonna. Come on.
Alright.
Oh.
So this is the road that he said to go down, was down here.
Oh crap, guys! I know it just happened like a minute ago, but the goblin girl. What did she want again? I was being distracted by everyone looking at us.
If we see any cargo wash up on the shore, she wants us to sell it to her.
Ah, okay.
Alright, so heading out of the market district to the more finer shops district as it's labelled on the map, and the wealthy residential area. Doesn't exactly look it. I mean, you do see some fine architecture, but it's kind of had some makeshift repairs over the years that clearly wasn't done by the hand that built it in the first place. And you see what appears to be a... screw it, I'm not going to try and find an actual building on the map itself. But you see this large single-story building that has a flat top that kind of looks like that the flat roof could have people up there. And sorry. And as you head through there, you see a lot of the shops here kind of have rather beefy, nasty-looking dudes standing outside of it. You can imagine it's just for protection or something like that, but the fact that they're there at all kind of tells a little bit of what sort of place this is. There's a smell of booze and a lot of smell of rather potent kind of like incense smells or sawdust smells. Various things that we'd use to cover up the smell of puke after cleaning it up, basically. Just to try and make the place smell nicer. And as you come close to this building, sure enough, you see this big old sign that says Shazzy's Dive on it. And there's a rather large half-giant standing outside next to the door.
I'm just checking if relics can smell.
I'm not sure, actually.
I'm checking. Well, they have immunity to poison, nausea and stuff, and it only mentions eye being able to hear and see, so I guess they cannot smell.
Mm-hmm.
So Saphira has no idea why there's crinkled faces right now.
Alright. Looking up at you as you kind of ride towards the place, the half-giant just keeps his eyes on you and then kind of like looks down, giving everyone who's nearby an equal amount of time, and then looking back up at you. Kind of just keeping a sweep going, keeping an eye on everyone. And you see a sign that says secure parking this way.
Secure, huh?
I don't know if I trust it.
Well, if you guys are going to the bar, I'm gonna stay here with Sage Art anyway.
Are we going to the bar? Guys?
Well, I'm not.
I just merely said that if we did go, we'd have to have somebody stand in the wagon.
Is there a reason we should go to the bar?
I mean, if we go to one, it's a good place to get information, but...
Yeah, traditionally it's a good gossip place.
is that.
When you take a closer look at the map, you do see that there's like a human district over here. You see where the sinkhole's marked. You know, you can see all the different districts, the various docks and whatnot. And if you've done your navigation correctly, you should be in the wealthy district. Just whatever you want to do, guys.
Now, gleaning some information probably would be a good idea, but I don't know if this would be the place to do it. What do you think, Tom?
I'm sorry, I'm feeling brain dead right now.
Everyone seems to be having a case of the silence and derps.
I'm not derp, you're derp.
Oh,
I think I'm
I'm
just
sorry.
having pain issues.
Oh yeah, I can
I
imagine.
feel that. I just don't know what we're supposed to be doing. I've kind of lost the plot in a very literal sense.
Alright, idea. So we have pirates attacking the port, yeah?
Yeah?
Alright, so Tom, why don't you go inside the bar there? You know, just kind of blend in, hide in the shadows and whatnot. I'll follow in a bit. You know, and see what kind of information we can glean, eh?
Sounds good.
Because that's gonna be a problem if we need a boat. Actually, there is no if at this point. I'm pretty sure we do need one.
Yeah.
And then, Tuffy, maybe you ought to try to do the same.
Like, just
That's
try to find
Well,
information?
fuck you, Dice.
Just try to blend in as best you can. I think we should go in an interval so that way we don't arouse any suspicion.
Rerolling. Okay, that's better.
Oi! Move out of the road, would ya? You hear behind you.
Okay, Tuffy tries to maneuver, like, gets the horses moving again toward the bar place.
Once they're there on the one, Tom falls off the damn wagon, literally. And then on the 16, he actually makes a stealth check and gets the fucking.
Oh dear, he's having a bad day.
Yeah.
You see, as you head down the road, you're like forced to turn left, which is the way that the sign was pointing, because there's kind of like just a single road looping round, at least in the central of the area. And let's see, like here, you see what appears to be a number of extremely heavily armored folk, as well as what seem to be some more golems, and some weird metal contraption that this fellow is sitting in. Seems to have sort of blades on its arms, and using these levers, it seems to very, very, very shakily move. And you see a sign that says, you know, the secure parking, 2 copper an hour.
You guys want to go for it?
Wow, I just kind of derped just now.
Do we want to go for the quote-unquote secure parking?
I'm gonna be the sugar part.
Yeah,
It'll
is there
be
like a
extra
spot
secure.
we can... Like, what are our options? Secure parking or side of the road?
There's not exactly much room on the side of the road. A lot of people seem to have already had that same idea. You could keep going to try and find somewhere else you could park. But with the road in constant use, you can't exactly just stop there and leave it.
We should go to the parking. We don't have much choice.
Okay.
Don't worry, I'm staying in with Nimble and Sage Art.
As you turn into the parking area, as it were, you see this fellow. He comes out and he checks his wrist and writes down something on a bit of parchment and heads up to your carriage and kind of just with a quick slap of something sticky just puts this ticket on the side of your wagon.
Okay. Tuffy will move the horses in and try to find a place to park.
Alright. Don't you worry none. Your carriage will be just safe as can be here. Just don't try and ride out of here without paying the toll first.
How much, pray tell us that?
It's on the sign as you came in. It's 2 copper an hour.
You cover.
Alright, no problem. I can handle that.
That doesn't sound too bad.
Alright. Well, I guess Tom's going in first.
Be right back.
Oh.
I think
God.
his 30 roll was him going in.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Something tells me Ben's gonna switch to the bed.
Yeah.
Or it sounds
Judging
like
by
it.
that, I don't blame him.
No, I don't either. But Sage Heart isn't interested in drinking, so she's going to stay in the wagon anyway. Zephyr is free to as well, but
Yep.
yeah. So Tom has already entered the bar undetected, as far as you can tell. And so I guess Tuffy and Genevieve are going to head in straight after.
Let's see, I was gonna give them both a chance to blend in first, and then I was gonna go in. Because there's no way in hell I'm gonna blend in.
Well, whichever pace you make your way in, you end up in Shaz's dive. I'm quickly just grab the tokens of those who are going in there. I guess Bruiser would come too, or is he staying on the wagon?
Nah, Bruiser will go with Tuffy, as long as nobody objects.
Not.
I don't think anybody's gonna object.
Welcome back, by the way.
Thanks.
Oh, there is a map. Ah, look at that. I was like, wow, we're just on a black screen, because I didn't see a map.
Yeah, you're on the bottom. You'll be entering through the door in the bottom left, right on the frickin' copyright who made the map shit.
I see it now.
Okay, so Tom, you're already in here. Having
Yeah, stealthed out.
you found a place just to kind of sit on your own.
Yeah.
And these doors are huge. They are like for creatures of all size. And the moment you came in here, well, there seems to be a good old punch-up going on. There's a lot of scantily clad ladies mingling around the crowd, serving drinks, dancing on tables, being pulled into various customers as they start flashing more coin. And pretty much what you are seeing at least, I guess if you wanted to look for anything that stands out beside the regular brawl, I guess that would be a perception check to kind of look for a bit more detail on everything in the chaos.
Taking 20.
Taking 20. Oh yeah, you have been there a while.
So 26.
Okay. You see two rather juxtapositioning scenes. You see the massive brawl going on over here, with some fellows just sitting around a table drinking, enjoying the festivities, and one man who looks to be extremely unamused as a couple of ladies are trying to beg for his attention as this battle just goes on around him. There seems to be this fella who is making sure that none of the brawling gets too close to that guy. And whereas over in this corner there seems to be a number of people that are cornering that place off to kind of keep the chaos away from that particular woman who is dressed in what seems to be, well, she's got a
Definitely
naval
not
outfit
ninja
on.
gear.
No. But she definitely seems to be of the naval sort, whereas the other seems to be wearing extremely little apart from some braces, pants and boots. But he has a mark across his chest which is quite distinctive. At least in terms of the confidence of his tattoo. And as far as I can tell, it seems to be like a dragon or an eagle or something like that on his chest. So yeah, a lot of the fighting seems to be condensed to this side of the bar, and there is a number of fellows keeping this corner, or at least particularly her corner, kind of fight free. So there's a lot of people who are like getting thrown around, and then one of the guys doing the perimeter will like catch him and shove him back. Kind of like the people who try and keep a mosh pit confined to just the mosh pit, you know?
Mm-hmm. Let's
So-
see if I get a good roll on this. Passable.
Okay, I'm just moving those. I'm going to leave the tokens to represent those two scenes, so it's not taking up the map, basically.
Yeah. And that was a sleight of hand roll to see if anyone that was getting too close to Tom had anything worthwhile of importance on them.
Worthwhile of importance besides just their coin purse? On these
He's
fellows,
not looking for coins.
not really. Those people who are fighting don't seem to have much in the way of important stuff. Like, you find coin, you find like flasks of ale, and you pry the occasional document from people about rumors of treasure, and like you even find a couple of sea maps on them, though without knowing what they're in relation to, then you can't exactly make heads or tails of them.
That's okay. I've got plenty of other people who might. Just tuck them away.
Genevieve is just going to try to get around the fighting and up to the bar.
Oh my god. A rogue character who actually got to pick pockets for once. Holy shit.
Okay, so you're going to try and make your way across the battleground to...
Well, I just want to go through the areas where there's like the least amount of fighting, where I'm not likely going to get my head taken off.
Okay, well you pretty much have to stick to the wall. And you have to basically head up this way, past Tom, past the fireplace, and then around like the perimeter of people here to try and head through. And then basically up here is where you get to the back rooms and also the bogs. So like this is your safest place to cross across to here to then head round to the bar. But you know, every so often people are still being like tossed across the bar and stuff, so it's not exactly completely safe. And as you roll a perception check. Wow.
Dear me.
As you move past the perimeter of the female there, you notice that she's noticed you and she's looking at you, and you can tell that because your perception was so awesome, you can see that she kind of smiled when she saw you, and her eyes seem to actually be a gold color. She looks to one side and she kind of gestures one of her men to come over, and she starts whispering in their ear.
I mean, as I go by, I just do kind of like a, I notice her staring, do a kind of a short wave and just keep going. But I'm just gonna go up to the bar.
It's not long after you get to the bar that this fellow approaches you from behind, and he comes up to you, and he seems to be wearing a rather fine sailor's wear. He's got like the ruffled shirt and the leather breeches and boots. Excuse me. Sorry to bother you, but the captain wishes to speak with you if you would have it, and whatever you happen to drink, she'll cover it for you if you have audience with her.
Oh. That nice-looking lady in the corner.
Yes, I can agree that she's definitely nice-looking. But yes, that's my captain, and she wishes to speak with you. She didn't say why. I think you just caught her eye with all your armor and holy symbols on the way by.
That's fine, but Odin, I need a minute because I just spilled my drink.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay, meanwhile...
Bruiser's kind of growling at the fighting people.
Yeah, Tuffy's gonna... try to calm him a little bit as far as, don't get involved in that. We got better shit to do. And Tuffy is gonna take a different tactic.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how well it works. Not as well as I would have hoped.
What was your tactic?
That was an intimidate roll.
To do what?
Or
Tuffy
less,
is just not intimidating.
I know. But when she has a +10, it's just a crap roll.
She's too cute to intimidate.
Does she yell at them to try and get them to stop fighting?
No. It's just more of it was just more to exude a you don't want to fuck with me kind of vibe than to specifically intimidate an action.
Does Bruiser have an intimidate check?
Bruiser's intimidate check strangely is in the negative because it's charisma based and animals never have high charisma.
Okay.
So the straight roll is actually a negative for Bruiser, even though it shouldn't.
Well, let's see what happens, shall we? Roll it anyway.
Oh my gosh.
This is gonna be bad. This is gonna be horrible.
Bruiser and Tuffy try to intimidate, come off as cutest things ever.
As you try to seem kind of confident, people don't seem to take any notice of you. One fella kind of looks at you as he saw you come in and then sees you kind of try to be tough looking, and he just sort of goes glug, 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 glug. He doesn't point and laugh or anything. He just has a chuckle to himself as he takes a drink. This old sea dog looking fella with a big old straggly beard and hair, this hat that's seen more years of storm than you have living.
Alright.
Just imagining that if this were a movie, this would be the part where it would cut to the outside of the bar and you would see that guy go flying outside.
You see some guy get thrown out of the freaking the window, and he just goes, "Rah!" And the guy who just threw him out just does a celebration of, "Rah!"
Yeah.
Just both default freaking laughs in the same scene.
Ongo, only pawn. game of life.
Yep. Alright, well...
You do notice
Tony's
one
gonna-
guy who is standing here at about 9 foot tall. And anytime someone's, basically the fight comes his way, he just shoves them away. And he sees you trying to, like, psych yourself up and that, and he smiles and he comes up to you and goes, "Hey, you're looking to make your way through this crowd."
Did we lose him?
"No, I'm here." "Hello?"
You cut out.
"Oh, did I? Shit." Well.
You suddenly had a fast speaker on.
A what? A fat speaker? What?
Fast food speaker going on.
Oh, okay, so like walking to McDonald's.
Yeah. You know the Wayne's World joke? I think you're fucking.
Oh, okay.
I'll have a arch coffee.
And the guy reads it back perfectly.
Alright.
So,
So this 9 foot tall bloke, he's brown as chocolate and built like a brick shithouse. He's got many like teeth of various species as a necklace around his neck, obviously. And he goes, "Oh yeah, you're looking to make your way to the bar, lass." God damn it! I was trying to summon back the Azamok voice to get the kind of Jamaican, but it came out Scottish. I've not done that accent in a long time.
You're looking to make your way to the bar, lass.
Yeah, looking to make your way to the bar, lass. Cause try to do a deep Jamaican kind of brings it back to Scottish. It's really difficult.
Tuffy, who is a full 5 foot shorter than this dude,
Yeah,
might I
man.
point out, is like, yep.
Buy me a drink when you're there, and I'll get you over there safely.
Okay.
He just turns around with his massive arms, just puts them together, and starts wading people out of the way.
Alright, well, Tuffy will go over to the bar.
What do you mean? What kind of accent is this? It's a troll accent. Ah, Jamaican me crazy.
Voodoo, ya voodoo man. Get out the bloody way. Lady coming through. And soon enough you reach the bar. Kind of say there. That kind of fits. Got room for Bruiser between the stools.
Yeah. Alright, she'll order a drink for the guy, too.
Yeah, I'll settle for a grog, don't worry about it. Nothing too pricey for me.
Yeah, she'll order him whatever he seems to want.
He orders some grog because, it's a port town. I've never actually looked up what grog actually is. I just know that's...
It's really low quality alcohol. It's kind of like whiskey that went bad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, grog is like American beer.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I know what that's like. It's... yeah.
There you go.
Isn't that why in Monkey Island there's a joke that someone just pukes in a pint and someone drinks it anyway because that's what grog tastes like?
Yeah, something like that.
Eh.
the whole thing was that you had to drink it quick because it ate through the mugs.
Probably two. I think it changed by game.
Yeah.
Yeah, in one it was you had to drink it quick because it ate through the mugs.
And you had to have several in order to get it over to like this one lock so that way you can melt the lock.
Well, if you're having whatever I'm having, then I'll be interested to see you have out the rum. you see this elven lass comes up to you. She's wearing like a provocative but not completely slutty dress. It's got the slit down the side. Kind of like in the picture where it was before over in this scene. The tavern wench outfit, I suppose.
Yeah.
Slave Leia Tavern wench.
No.
I having a whiskey here for me and what's your name last? Sorry,
Tuffy.
Toffee. Yeah, couple of rums for me and Toffee here. And she's paying for me wading through this rabble. He kind of just leans on the bar and it creaks.
Yeah, Tuffy will, pay up whatever the tab is. And take the drinks.
Yeah, it's, even with it being, I don't know what the price is, like 2 silver for both of them.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever.
Good enough.
What are you rolling for this time? More pickpocketing?
More pickpocketing. Prime chance to do it.
You pick out a letter that says, you pick out what looks like a letter.
Okay.
Unfolding it to take a read, he said, sorry to disappoint, but if I see you stealing anything else, you're going to be having trouble.
Okay. Tom chuckles, neatly folds the note into some sort of origami and sets it down somewhere out of the way.
You set it down, and before you even really step back from it, you see someone pick it up. Someone who you didn't really peg in the bar a second ago. And you see what seems to be a 4'5" fellow dressed all in black, and he picks up the origami and he just looks over it for a bit. Oh, that's fine work. Very skilled fingers, don't you, lad?
It pays in my line of work.
Aye. Aye. That it does for anyone in that line of work, though, while there may be no honour amongst thieves, we try to keep people's possessions in their own pockets around here.
I'm not looking for gold.
I noticed that, but still, information can be more valuable than any gold in their pockets.
Indeed it can.
But, hope you didn't mind my little note there. I just, wanted to catch you before anybody else did who might try and, respond a bit more violently.
Very clever and very subtle. I applaud you.
It's, you get used to doing such things. But, thank you, lad. What's your purpose here?
Just traveling north.
North? Well, you're about as far north as you can get.
Where we're going, men have not set foot in a long...
You cut out. I think you're back now.
Said, where we're going, men have not set foot in a long time.
You make it sound like you want to get even... You make it sound like you want to sail north.
I do.
Well, that's something I've not heard in a while. And you notice that some people within earshot of this conversation just kind of stopped at that. They looked at you and some of them just kind of just looked completely bewildered, and they were just like... Some of them just
Kinda.
burst into laughter, then get back into the fight, you know?
Yeah, Tom marks all the ones that burst into laughter and got back to the fight as useless.
Well, You won't find many captains willing to sail north anymore. Especially not with the pirates out there.
Yes, I've heard. Strange that pirates would attack and not take cargo.
I'm sure they've been taking what they can, but sometimes when you scuttle a ship, you can't get everything else before the tide takes it too close to the coast for comfort. You see, they've not been attacking anyone who's docked. They've been trying to catch people before they reach port.
I see. Any idea why?
Profit, I would suppose. Once they actually manage to secure any cargo, they would tend to try and sell it in town, because no one's to know that's where it's from. Or they take it back to their lair and hoard it away.
Almost sound like dragons.
Huh. Well, pirates, dragons, both like their treasure. But if you wanted to help out the town by getting rid of a particularly nasty bunch of them, then I know where there's this rather tricky little trail that we can get into their lair. But it's the more safe option is, I say safe, the more common option is that it's via boat, but there are ways of getting there on foot.
With the right climbing gear, one can get anywhere.
That'd be true, but it depends who you're travelling with as well, who you need to bring with you.
Indeed.
I've eyed 3 strangers in this tavern, and one of them being you, mind you. I guess 4 if you
And
count.
what do you take me... And exactly what do you take me for?
Well, I suppose looking at your garb and the weaponry you're carrying, I would say you are part of one of those clans, as it were. But I'm not going to say the word because some of the folks in here don't take kindly to those of that sort of practice.
Would you like to know which clan?
By all means, lad.
I am of the clan of the dragon.
Well, best say no more where people can hear it. All sorts of folk around here, and the second you say you're part of one group or another, somebody will throw a punch at you for it. But, yeah, I think the only captains that'll be willing to try and sail you north is, well, the 2 who seem to be making their own space here. Of course, first, I put a name here. God damn it, 1 second. Just gotta quickly retrieve the names of these people.
The name's ninja vanished. What do you know?
Well, first off, you've got that fellow over there with the big men, making sure nobody trying to fight gets anywhere near him, and the lass dancing on his table, and the other 2 lasses on his arm. That's Rigby Ramsey over there. He's a rough sort of lad, but he'll say you're anywhere for the right price. Though he does have a nickname that I'm sure he wouldn't like anyone really knowing. And that's the Deceiver. Not a nice name to have for any respects, especially if you're trying to make some form of reputation for yourself. Though who he deceived to get it, nobody really knows. I'm not sure if he screws over those he works with. I've not seen any of them go missing, but I guess just be wary. And the other, over there, Captain Evelyn Tides. The red-headed lass, looking all prim and proper with her men making sure no trouble gets her way. There's always been something off with her. She's a nice enough lass. I mean, if you actually manage to get to talk to her. She's, as far as I know, she's, willing to take any sort of, trip that, sates her curiosities, so to speak. It's not always about gold with that lass, despite how she looks. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to my drink. You take care, lad, and I'll be around if you need to try and approach the pirate cove on foot.
If I have need of you, I will bring you another paper gift.
I'll be sure to look out for that then. It's a fine way to let someone know you're there without letting them know you're there. And with that, he just walks over and he takes a seat here. Picks up his mug of ale with the fellows he seems to be playing cards with and carries on drinking. Sorry about that, fellas. I was feeling a bit lightheaded there. Meanwhile, at the bar...
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
So you have this skipper standing next to you, Genevieve, and he's invited you to take audience with Evelyn Tides, who you don't know to be Evelyn Tides right now. He just says the captain. And
Yeah, sure, I'll go over there.
okay. Well, I'm getting another bottle of wine for the captain before I head back, and she said to fund any drink that you might want.
Just so I'm clear, I can see where Tom and Tuffy are, yeah?
Seeing
Yeah,
Tom
I
is
mean-
difficult due to the crowd. You can kind of see Tuffy because she's at the bar.
Seeing Tom's difficult when he doesn't want to be seen.
Yeah. Plus, with all the fighting crowds, there's like many bodies between you and them.
I'll look in their general direction and just kind of tilt my head a little bit as I'm heading over there. Just so that way they know what I'm doing. No idea.
Did you not want a drink before you came with me?
I really don't know what to order. This is out of character, by the way.
Well, if you want, I can simply just get a second glass with the bottle of wine.
Wine's alright. I can go with some wine. Nothing too heavy, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be pleased to hear that. Alright, well, if you follow me, and he heads back, and he kind of heads around, like, the safe route around this way, and just slides along this wall, and then, like, once he's behind the perimeter, he heads over and, like, sets the bottle of wine down before her, as well as the 2 glasses. And, you see her still laying back in that rather relaxed pose, and she goes, "Oh, thank you. I'm glad you could accept my my invitation there. Have a seat." And she gestures to the one on the end here.
Oh, there. Okay.
Mm. Now, you don't see many holy figures walking in here, especially in full armor and looking as holy and pure as any depiction of holy folk.
Sorry, I'm just laughing because it's like holiness of holiness.
Yeah, I was trying to...
It's fine, it's fine. Oh, I was just traveling here. I was just traveling through here with my friends, and yeah, decided to stop by for a drink.
Ah, Oh, you have friends in the town, do you? Well, you said you were travelling through. Is there any particular destination you're trying to get to? Oh, how rude of me. Sorry, I'm Captain Evelyn Tides.
I'm Genevieve Arterbury.
Lovely to meet you, Genevieve. Oh, rather fitting name.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, we're just heading up north. And out of character, I don't even remember what our exact destination was.
Heading
Basically,
north.
we keep going north until we hit land again.
Yeah, you're trying to sail to the next continent.
Yeah, so we're essentially just trying to go north until we hit the next continent.
In a way, I think we're basically going home. As in the home all of our people had before the dragon incident.
Well, you might find that a bit difficult, I'm afraid. Heading north from here, well, you may have noticed some of the fissures around town. Fissures being the big old cracks in the ground that head rather deep. Oh, sorry,
Yes.
I just put it in layman's terms without even giving you a chance to respond. I'm sorry, that was rather rude of me.
Oh, it's fine.
I'm just so used to having to dumb down my vocabulary a little bit to speak with some of the people around here. That's why I tend to not really speak to many people around here.
Well, the fissures, I don't even know what to make of those.
Well, they've been there ever since the calamity, as I'm sure someone who's been travelling around may have guessed such things would be. And it's at that moment that the wine has been poured into the glasses, and one of them's been put before you, and the other's been put in front of Evelyn, and she picks it up and takes a sip.
My inner GM is like, don't do it, but I'm just sitting here like, you know what, I'm probably gonna go ahead and take a sip myself.
No, this is one of the only reasons I really come in here. Despite it being quite the boisterous place most of the time, it's got the best drinks in the city. It's
Bet the fighting gets entertaining though.
oh yeah, that's can be at times, but sometimes you just want a bit of peace and quiet, you know. That's why I have them, my men, my crew, just corner this corner off for me.
Does this happen all the time?
Depends. Discussions get rather heated in here, especially when that fellow's here. Yeah, you might see him over there. There's too many bodies in the way, but there's a fellow in here by the name of Rigby Ramsey, and he's a big brawny fellow who basically loves to have a fight anytime he can. And so when he comes in here, as much as he likes the ladies, as I think any decent person does, then he also likes to see people fighting as just an equal amount of entertainment. I had a talk with him once, and was he made my skin crawl. He was trying way too hard to try and earn my favour, if you catch my drift.
Ah, I see.
And not for any decent reason, I can imagine. But, it's not something I want to think about. And, back to the matter at hand. What were we talking about here? And she kind of, as she says that, back to the matter at hand, she kind of sits herself up a bit, reaches over and tries to pull your chair closer.
Okay.
Is Genevieve about to get into a situation that requires extraction?
So, you're heading north, and the only place there, ever since the calamity, has been rather deep, steaming, molten rock-filled crater. valley. It's like the entire world got split in two, but you can see the bottom if you can see through the smoke well enough.
I don't think we were aware of this out of character, were we?
No, you weren't.
That's all that's there, huh?
Pretty much the land that was there was completely destroyed in the calamity, and well, the amount of destruction that happened has started to, well, many, well, I'm not sure how you call it, the planets, the ground beneath our feet seems to be extremely angry at what happened, and if you manage to survive the fall, then all you find is the waters of the ocean steaming up and volcanoes and all sorts of nasty business down there. The ground seems to just shift on fire.
Assuming you even survived the fall in the lava, you'd be alive in the ocean. And my voice just cracked. Wow.
It shows Genevieve's kind of amount of talking, I suppose. You sound like you're a bit dry, dear. Have another drink.
In real life, I kind of am, but yeah.
Drinking alcohol's not gonna help. Gang.
But yeah, I was not aware that that was what was north of here.
Yes, not entirely sure if there's any of the anything beyond it. I mean, trying to get beyond it would be rather difficult with its current state, but I don't know. Curiosities are kind of piqued, and I found you to be some of the most pleasant company that I've indulged in this town so far, so, well, how badly do you need to get north?
Well, 'tis rather prudent that we get there. Though, admittedly, knowing what I know now, I'm a little hesitant about it. Perhaps I ought to talk about talk to this with my friends? Talk about this to my friends?
Are they here?
Well, they're around here somewhere. I know two of them are outside.
Well, could you describe them to me?
Well, if you see a big glowy construct looking thing, I don't know how else to describe Saphira.
Well,
Fine.
there are a few of those around here, but what color is she? I'm sorry, I immediately assumed she after the description and name.
Well, she's kind of a what would you say, a bluish white? Is that how you would describe her? Out of character.
Yeah, blue
Well,
and
she's-
silver.
Blue
Yeah.
and silver.
Electric blue, you know.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. She's mostly silver on the construct side.
Yeah.
Stealth. Okay, I'm gonna do a. Okay. And how about your other friends? I mean, is this Saphira here, or is who is it I'm looking to extend invitations to in the tavern?
In the tavern itself.
Yes.
Well, there's two of them in here right now. I'm just not entirely sure with all the fighting going on.
Unfortunately, I can only really keep this corner as a bit of a peaceful sanctuary. I think
Yeah.
too many of my men would end up with a few injuries if we tried to stop this entire fight.
Yeah, fair point. I don't know about that Ramsey fellow.
Rigby Ramsey. Well, I suppose calling him by his surname is alright.
Sorry, Paladin habit.
Oh, is it now? Well,
I don't. Out of character, I don't know if it is, but it is for Genevieve.
Then it is for Genevieve.
yeah, exactly.
Welcome to Paladins.
Woo.
Welcome to character development. Well, I think this will be quite an exciting little venture, and the only problem being is, as much as we could head straight north, we've had a bit of a problem recently with some less reputable pirates who are trying to scuttle anything that leaves or tries to enter port, trying to stop them from reaching the town, I'm sure for their own means, whether it be protest or profit. Most likely profit.
I was going to say, is that what's going on down there at the docks right now?
Yes, you only get the odd stray cannonball heading actually into the town, but I wish people would practice their aim better.
Yeah, it was kind of off a little bit.
But either way, once the sun is lowering on the horizon, they tend to head home for counting up whatever they've made that day.
But they come back every day like this.
Oh yes, they're a ruthless bunch, but I don't know. It's quite a bother, as though I'm sure my men are enjoying their shore leave.
All honestly, it just sounds like these people are really, really, really bored.
I really shouldn't keep saying my men, because not all of them are men. My crew, I suppose. But, yes, I mean, I'm not sure how many of them would be thrilled about the idea of trying to travel north, but, well, they'll do what I say. They always have done. I pay them well enough, obviously. And, well, if you wanted to come with me for this adventure of yours, then I think I would rather delight in both the civil company and the prospect of discovering something unknown. Though we may need someone to, well, I say someone, to free up my ship from the dock. I may need you and your friends to perhaps try and help deal with our pirate problem.
Oh, we'll certainly do what we can. I mean, this is quite the offer you're giving us, and I cannot begin to tell you how appreciative I am of it.
Oh, think nothing of it. I just, well, you just caught my eye, and I wanted to see if there's anything I could do for you.
Again, I greatly appreciate this. Do you know exactly where these pirates originate from, out of curiosity?
Oh, I hear they have some sea cave that they hide out in. Apparently you can only really sail into it, and anytime you try to do it and you're not one of them, that you get blown out of the water.
Yeah, that's pretty textbook.
But it's a rather long coast we have. It got a lot longer when a lot of the land mass fell into the crater. The Great Divide, we call it. I mean, that's assuming that there is anything on the other side, then it's a division, but whatever, I'm sure it's just a very majestic name that people like the sound of.
Perhaps. Well, I can try to confer with my associates. Is there any other place that I can meet you, or are you just going to be in here?
Well, I'll either be in here or on my ship. You'll notice it. It's rather... Well, I don't mean to brag, but it's in a rather better condition than some of the other ships around there. It's the Gilded Rose. You'll notice it by the, well, my headstand is a rather lovely looking figure with a rose wrapped around her, binding her to the she knows the term, but I don't. You know, the bit that they actually attach the
CERN.
the front of the.
The bow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I know you're talking about specifically the
figurehead.
piece of mast. Yeah, the figurehead that goes onto the piece of mast that goes out in front and usually has
At
a
the
tack
prow.
sail. Prow,
Apparently.
yeah.
Yes, she's. You'll notice her from the figurehead of a rather lovely-looking woman with a rose wrapped to her, binding her to the prow.
Alrighty then. That should be pretty easy to look for. Just kind of takes another sip of wine. This is good. What is this?
This particular bottle, she kind of like picks it up and tilts it to look at the label. As far as I can tell, it's an elven wine from 15 odd years ago. Can't quite make out the location, but with how much is imported and exported here, it doesn't really matter as long as it's good to me.
Fair
But
enough.
yes, it is rather nice. Your palate is rather refined to be able to tell a good wine from the bad.
Well, between my training as a paladin, I've worked in the library and done all sorts of things, and sometimes it's just really nice to relax in the evening with a book and some wine.
Oh, it is. In fact, that's what I do most evenings. Wine, good book. If I'm lucky enough, good company. But yes, if you ever want to find me, just head up onto my ship and tell them, well, my crew are here. They know that you're welcomed. They'll show you to my quarters, I'm sure.
Much appreciated. Gonna offer my hand to shake it. What was that?
That was me tapping the water lid on my Keurig. I need to add more.
Okay.
Okay.
She takes it and she actually kisses the back of Genevieve's hand. Those golden eyes just locked on her the entire time.
I'll speak with my associates and we'll see what we can do about this about these pirates out there, huh?
Alright, I'll be here at least for a good few hours. At least stay and finish your wine first, or come back to it, either way.
I'll just kind of sit and chit-chat with her, I guess, while I drink a little bit more.
Alright. Meanwhile, on Tuffy's end of the bar... Is Kiki there?
Yep.
Yep, okay, just checking before I start. This large fellow... seems like he's just got this really kind... Actually, I know what voice he has. He has the voice of the voodoo shop owner from Gabriel Knight, as done by Worf.
Oh my god. Oh, by the way, just because I have to go fairly soon, Tom's going to use his vanishing trick and invis his way out.
Alrighty.
No need for stealth when you're freaking invisible.
And then just head back to the wagon and join the tea
Yeah.
party.
Yep, pretty much. I'm sure he'll have much to discuss with Genevieve when she gets back.
Genevieve is expecting this.
The rum shows up, and it seems to be, well, it's definitely a bigger measure than we use these days. In fact, there's basically, it's sold by the bottle.
They come in points?
Yeah. Alright.
That's why it's a silver each, because, you know, for freaking ale, a silver is a lot.
Yeah.
So there's this
was
big bottle of
wondering
rum
about
just
that.
put in front of you, as well as him. And he
Alright.
picks it up and he goes, to whatever venture brought you here, and to whichever venture you, well, venture to. He kind of just clinks the bottle.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go get ready to go, and I will see you guys in a bit.
Alrighty.
Alright.
Yeah, Tuffy will take a drink with him. That'll be nice.
Okay. The second you pull the cork from the bottle, the hairs in your little nose just kind of curl up.
Lovely.
And, but yeah, taking the drink, it has quite a kick to it that, you know, would make you cough if you drink too much of it at the same time. And, but it's got like a kind of pleasant taste to it, just a lot of fire to go with it. You know how rum is.
Yeah.
You got to kind of take today's rum and then just kind of unrefine it a little bit. Yeah, he takes he actually takes like a gulp rather than a sip and puts it down. Well, I didn't expect for you to be giving me, for a bottle of rum like this, I think I'll see you to the door once you're done.
Aw, thanks. That's nice.
Nah.
Do you work here?
No, I just come in here from time to time and, well, when someone like you catches my eye and looks to be heading through the crowd when there's a fight broken out, which there often is, I often pass them the same offer.
You must get a lot of free drinks then.
Oh, I've not paid for a drink in years. But that's what comes with the territory when you're, well, part giant. And have the strength to move men like they were simply, well, bags of potatoes.
Well, that's probably nice. I get told I'm cute a lot.
Well, with a head like that, I don't blame people who do call you cute. And if they're meaning it in the more admirable way, that's less than innocent, well, with the body attached to that head, I don't blame them for that either.
Thanks, I guess.
I meant it as well-intentioned, but, ignore me. I'm just kind of rambling here. So what brings you to town?
We were gonna try to get a ship, but it looks like there's pirates, so now I don't know what we're gonna do.
Well, I'm sure anyone here who would about to say you anywhere would probably say the same thing that you've already figured out, and that's that they need to have someone deal with the pirates before they can sail anywhere. Me, I don't exactly know where they're hiding out. All I've heard is the same rumors of them having some sea cave fortress that can only be accessed by water.
I'm not really good on boats. Never really been on one before. Well, not a big one.
Well, for what reason does a woman like you come in here with her companion and look for a ship? Is there any particular place you're trying to get to?
We were looking for a place, but it's on a different continent.
Ah. Oh, that'll be quite a long trip to any continent from here. Though it is the most northern part of this continent, quite certainly. And the biggest port on it as well.
That's a shame.
Ah, how so?
Well, I was thinking if there are pirates here, maybe we could go somewhere else, but it seems like we're gonna have to wait now.
Oh yes, it wasn't always like this. It was, well, You remind me of someone. Someone I don't think I've seen in hundreds of years, which means that it can't be you, obviously. But, no, I remember a lass who looked quite a lot like you. Even had a canine friend with him, and a raven, if I remember correctly. We got on well, we did. But, yeah. I suppose I noticed you most of all because you just remind me of her. That was long ago, though. Long when this place wasn't even called Port Tinker.
Wow. I don't get told that I look like many people.
I wouldn't think you would, which is what made her stand out in the first place, is that even back then there weren't many of your kind. In fact, I think you're only the third I've seen ever since that time.
Yeah, I haven't really met many like me either.
Well, don't be disheartened by it. I'm sure that the longer you go without seeing another of your kind, the greater joy you'll have when you do. That's
Maybe,
if they're nice.
if they're nice.
At that, he kind of laughs with you and clinks the bottles again. Takes another drink. But me, I've been around for a very long time. Somewhat of a historian of this place, as far as most people care to remember.
Is this like mostly a goblin town then?
A lot of the goblins did move in, yes. Those who were wanting to do a lot more trade and have reasonably safe places they can experiment and build their contraptions powered by all sorts of magic. Most often unstable magic. The amount of times we've had to rebuild parts of the town is, well, let's just say if you saw this place before the calamity, then you wouldn't even recognize it. So much.
You remember before the dragon?
Before the dragon? Well, I might not look it, but I was there before the calamity. Before the Great Divide was made.
You certainly don't look your age then.
Why, thank you, lass. Yeah. It's a bit of wayward magic I ran into a long time ago. But I'm not here to tell you the tales of that, unless you have the time to listen. I'm sure you have plans to get where you're going.
Well, maybe. I'm hoping someone else can figure that out, because I'm kind of stumped.
Well, wait, somebody else figured that out. Are you here with other people then?
Well, yeah, there are others of us around.
Ah, well, that's good. From the impression I got when you walked in, I thought you were in town on your own. Well, I mean, on your own except for your companion there. And he kind of looks down at Bruiser.
Bruiser looks up and kind of snuffles his way.
So you've got a band with you. That's good. I'm sure that if others are handling the travel arrangements, then maybe you want to hear a tale or two about this place.
That'd be nice.
Well, let's start with this tavern. It's owned by Shaz now, but way back when, back before the calamity, it was known as Eagle's Rest, and that's the one thing. My memory can remember certain things and places and events, but individual names of those times have faded over the years. explorer remembers that this was this entire family of dwarves who owned this place. And I say family of dwarves. I say that because the main fellow who owned the place, he was a dwarf. And some of his sons and his daughters were dwarves. Though his wife was an elf, and of course some of his sons and daughters were also elves or half-elves. And half-dwarf, half-elf is not something you see that often, actually. They don't usually get on in social situations. As a race, they tend to have very different ways of looking at things, but these two seem to look at each other more than any other issues. I suppose that's just how love happens. But yes, he built this place, and as you can see, there's no stairs here. It was always meant just to be one big level. I mean, all the guest rooms are in the back. Some of the guest rooms are over there, and he's kind of like gesturing over here. And, well, the amount of ladies around here that you see was the new owner's idea, because well, it seemed to bring in more of the customers that we were getting at the time. And now, everyone looking for comforts beyond the alcohol and the food, mostly before they head off back to sea. But ever since the Great Divide, and the pirate raids more prominently, that we've had a lot of more people staying in port. And therefore this place has not been empty since they started the attacks. But as for the town itself, well, it didn't used to be called Port Tinker. It used to be Falcon Haven. And it was the pride of this.
Naming this place after birds, didn't they?
There's a reason for that. The founder of the city actually had quite a few falcons. And, well, they were used to hunt and gather food and basically allowed those who settled this town to survive, and therefore the town was named after them. Without those hunting birds, then, well, they certainly wouldn't have survived those first few years settling here before they managed to get crops going. But yes, over the years, being on the waters, they started getting traders coming in, business from other continents, other parts of this continent. Wanderers who were just exploring the land came across this place, and, you know, as word spread. I tried to say word and spread at the same time, and it came out as wed. And as word spread, then, well, the town just grew and became this city that you are dwelling in now. Though, as all was fine and dandy, they never turned away anyone as long as their coin was good and their blades stayed in there where they should be. But after the calamity and the Great Divide and the fissures that lead from it to here, well, there's been repairs to the roads that, well, have to bridge across molten rock and the anger and fire of Mother Earth beneath us. Sometimes it would come all the way to the surface, though thankfully it doesn't happen very often. With the amount of fire in the Great Divide, I think it's as if that a lot of what was coming up into the city was released when the Great Divide happened. As if, like, Trying to think how, like, these days kind of terms would associate, you know, like relieving the pressure that would be pushing the freaking molten rock to the surface. Because with that big strip of open space, then there wouldn't be any pressure pushing it up to the city. Huh. But much like the steam coming out of the divide and the cooling of a blade once crafted, it seems to have prevented any of the fissures here from sputtering any fires and rocks up onto the surface.
That's interesting.
I'm glad you think so. I mean, some people tend to get bored when I start talking about such things and wander off. I'm glad to find someone who actually enjoys hearing about the past. I mean, by all means, live for the day, but never forget the past.
I don't know too much about the past, but I always like to learn.
That's a good head on your shoulders there. And I wasn't making a joke about how your head and your shoulders seem to be from different species. I don't know if perhaps you may have thought that, so I may have just dug myself into a hole by apologizing for it in such detail.
That's alright.
I sometimes think that I may have gone slightly mad over the years, but I like to think I've still got my senses. But, well, he goes on, like, just rather than me try and make up stories on the spot.
That's alright. Tubby will sit there and listen to him unless she sees, like, Genevieve or Tom trying to, like, get her.
Yeah, well, Tom's left, and so he
Yeah.
goes on telling about various tales of famous sailors and such, and curiosities that have happened over the years. He even tells you the story of when he came across a dragon, which is how he became, well, how he stopped aging.
Cool.
And it was actually a benevolent. He says it was a benevolent dragon. As he goes on, you can't help but get the feeling that this is sounding familiar.
Yeah.
But anytime you try to ask for specifics about the dragon, he kind of waves it off and changes the subject. Well, back over at the other table, the wine is very good and you enjoy it, and she's making idle chit-chat, trying to learn more about Genevieve, where she's from, that kind of stuff. Kel?
Kel gone?
Kel? Maybe she's got someone in her room that just barged in. Or she's muted and not realised it.
Yeah.
I'll skip her. Meanwhile, in the wagon, Sage Heart pulls out some dice and some cups that were stored away in the wagon somewhere, and she proposes to Saphira that they play a game.
Huh? What?
Meanwhile, in the wagon, Saphira, Sage Heart pulls out some dice and some cups and offers to play a game with Saphira.
Oh, sweet. Let's do it.
Alright, she hands over, I think, 6 dice each and a cup. And she explains, as she pulls up a crate to kind of serve as a table, she's down, that the game's called Liar's Dice. And what you have to do is shake the...
Ironically, I have played this game in real life.
Chuck the dice in the cup, shake it, and then slam the cup on the table, and then make sure nobody but you sees the dice. And then you gotta make bets on what dice you have, and people keep making bets that are higher than the bet that's already been made. Say, if someone says 2 1s and someone says 3 1s, that's a higher bet. If someone says they have 2 2s, that's higher than 2 1s. And of course you can lie about it to try and say that you've got, 6 6s or something. But if every time you make a bet, someone can call you out on it and call you a liar. And if you're lying, you throw away one of your dice and the next round begins. If you are telling the truth, they throw away one of their dice and the next round begins. And basically we keep going until only one person has any dice left.
Okay.
Okay, and then while you're having your water and a few snacks, I guess Sage Heart's having the snacks and Saphira's just kind of sitting there, you start making chit chat and playing Liar's Dice. What if Kel's back yet?
Man, I hope none of those dice get in my grill.
Well, thankfully you're not flinging the dice anywhere, so you should be fine. I wonder, how familiar with the concept of lying is Saphira?
Well, she tried, just that she's laughed out good, but it doesn't mean she cannot lie if, lawful, there's some lying that's benevolent, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she tried to protect Marjolaine back when she blurted out about her condition, because she didn't know if it was her business, but then she failed her bluff a lot, and just blurted it out.
Alright.
So she's just bad at it. And she hasn't, she's not trying to hide anything, she's just trying to have some tact, but she's not familiar with, she's young.
Mm-hmm.
She only lies if she feels it's the best thing to do.
So, playing Liar's Dice, does she basically just keep telling the truth?
She tries lying a few times.
Okay. Roll a bluff check, see how that goes for you.
Basically, she does it if she thinks she can get away with it. So let's see my bluff. Bluff, 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 bluff. She has a high score, but bluff.
After a bit of practice and a few rounds going into it, you get the hang of it, and you actually start winning a few rounds.
Yay!
And roll a sense motive as well, to see how well you can see how often Sage Heart lies. Again, after a few rounds, you get to sort of get a decent idea as to when Sage Heart's telling the truth and when she's lying. And, a few times you actually manage to call her out on the lie. And
basically, Saphira doesn't have a problem with lies if it's, white lies.
yeah, if it's just for a game, or
Yep.
stuff like that.
Besides, I think even paladins can lie if they want.
Sure. So the large fellow with Tuffy actually continues making stories and making your way through the bottles of rum. As much as this place has changed over the years, I still couldn't imagine myself drinking in any of the other pubs in the town. Ever since this place was made, it's always strived to be the best, and even looking at it now with the fighting and the whores, It's still the finest place in the city. Then again, when you look around here and look at all the girls, they're all smiling, and a lot of them seem to be like, and all of them seem to bathe as well, which is a real plus point, I suppose.
Yeah.
Bah, I'm not there to talk about them. I'm just trying to make more conversation, I suppose. It's just, I'm still slightly surprised as to just how much you remind me of her. So you even have the same color fur and everything.
Wow. That's really shocking.
Then again, if you live long enough, I suppose you're going to see some rather unique things twice. At least that's what I'm going to tell myself. Well, Oh, roll your fortitude, by the way, because
Oh,
you've
yeah, give me half a second.
Yep.
Open up. Open up.
Is Kel back yet?
I have
Yeah,
no
I
idea.
just
Oh,
sat down.
there.
Oh god, there you are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're starting to feel a bit wobbly, even though you're sitting down. You're right there, is the what I'm getting to.
A little bit. I'm not used to drinking much.
Yeah. He kind of reaches out and puts a big hand on your shoulder just to stop you falling off the stool. If you need, I can I can make sure you get back to wherever you're staying tonight. I mean, you can always pay for a room here, but I don't know what your plans of your group are.
That's alright. Bruiser can get me back. But I should probably be going
Alright.
before it gets worse.
Well,
You're very nice, and I hope to talk to you again.
well, I would like to talk to you too, if it was possible, but I know that if you're got a task that needs doing, that you may be leaving the town soon, but you'll often find me here if you ever come back this way. But perhaps just stick a cork in that bottle and save the rest for another time, and before you well, you seem about the right size to be able to ride that dog home, but let's hope it doesn't come to it.
Okay. Could you get me to the door, maybe?
No, sure thing. And he gets up and sticks his thumb over the top of his bottle and just starts pushing people out the way again and leading you back to the door.
She'll stumble out using Bruiser as she'll kind of tell Bruiser, like, take me back to the wagon, and he'll probably start sniffing around. She'll just grab onto his armor and follow behind.
Alright. Meanwhile, back on the table with Genevieve.
Aye.
Yeah, you've been making idle chit-chat, and yeah, she's very pleasant to talk to and very open about what she does. She's just Evelyn Tides, and she says that she originally started sailing with her father, and he wasn't the nicest of fellows, but she stuck through it and learned a lot from him, and when he shuffled off the mortal coil, she took the captain's hat. And she's been having a hell of a life ever since. She's been able to follow her own pursuits and see to her own taste rather than those of her father's.
Sounds like a lot of exciting fun.
You don't know the half of it, but as I said, she like looks out the window and sees that the sun's starting to go down and the cannons are quieting down. Well, I think soon enough I should allow my crew to actually enjoy themselves rather than stand guard and head back to my ship. You're free to join me. Perhaps we could continue our conversation there.
Well, probably should get back to my colleagues first, though, and at least talk to them about, what we're going to do.
Alright, well as I said, I've already described my ship to you, so by all means just swing by any time.
Oh, we will. We'll stop in probably after we will stop in after I talk with them.
I look forward to it. And she finishes off the current glass of wine. She kind of gestures to the bottle. Alright crew, let's get me back to my ship and and feel free to share the rest of that bottle between you. She sort of stands up and unless you want to take it with you, Genevieve.
Oh no, that's fine. They can take it. I appreciate the offer though. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I am Evelyn the Gentle-Hearted for a reason. Certainly better than a name that he's made for himself over there. But what do you expect after a brute like that? I mean, I don't think worse of him for his appetites for violence, but I just prefer my own ways.
I don't see why he just doesn't, get the money together to open an arena or something.
That's actually a suggestion that he might like, but I don't know. Perhaps an arena would be too orderly for him.
Perhaps.
She steps up beside you and offers you a hand up. Right, should we get you to the door?
Sure. Also, sorry if I sound distracted. I'm got my mind in other places right now.
That's okay, we'll be rounding up any time now anyway.
Yeah, I got my mind in my stomach, that's what.
Oh, you getting hungry? Okay.
Yeah.
While offering you the hand up, she waits for you to take it or decline it, either one.
Genevieve will take it.
Alright, she helps you stand and she smiles, and after letting go of your hand, one hand just goes up into your hair and starts playing with it. Because I find it awfully rude to ask, but your features are odd to me. Am I right in saying that you are a... Don't tell me. I've been trying to figure it out ever since I saw you. You happen to be of the... Sorry, my mind is completely blanked on Genevieve's species.
Asimar?
I'm an ASMR.
Yeah. An ASMR. Ah. Well, that was... yeah. Did you say... Were you saying that out of character just then?
Yeah, just out of character.
Okay. Would you happen to be... perhaps a sylph? No, it's not quite right. You're not waif enough to be a sylph. Those things are like twigs. Just love your hair. I'm sorry, started babbling now. Perhaps I've maybe had a bit too much wine. I give up. What species are you, dear? I mean, it doesn't matter, but...
Character, I don't think I actually had that listed on. I think she was just born to human parents.
Oh, was she?
Yeah,
So she would say human?
pretty much, yeah.
Rather gifted human, then. Wasn't expecting you to say that, actually. You are...
Also, out of character, I don't know if we ever really discussed that.
Yeah.
Well, all humans like that when it's from a recessive gene, sometimes they never learn it until someone tells them.
Yes, your hair is... Well, your eyes and... I'm sorry, I really think I have drunk too much wine. I am saying far too much and flustering myself here. I do not mean to make you uncomfortable.
Oh, it's okay. Although, in the back of Genevieve's mind, she's just like... Is she making a pass at me?
Oh, it's
this is
alright.
in the back of Genevieve's mind.
Yeah,
mind you.
no, but like with what she said, it's alright. It's alright. Well, that's good to know. I find
Internal screaming intensifies.
it's often a pleasant surprise when admiration isn't scorned. But anyway, we were leaving, weren't we? Yes, she kind of... Callistria's giggling. But still, yes, come find me on my ship if you wish, and I would love to have you, but you have things to do, and such like. Perhaps see you in here again, if not on my ship. And she, the crew just keep a perimeter around you while also making the way to the door, kind of keeping a space for you to walk to the door. And she walks shoulder to shoulder with you to the door.
Y'all drunk. Y'all.
Oh, y'all drunk. I'm not drunk, I'm just maybe slightly buzzed. Maybe, should I roll a fortitude?
Roll a fortitude.
Hey.
Watch me fail this.
Because when the fresh air hits you, I always find that kind of has an effect on the alcohol.
She fine.
You'll find yourself way too intrigued in the conversation to really feel anything but a mild buzz.
I just feel really, really warm on the inside. And it's
Yes.
kind of nice.
And your face is on fire.
What? Oh! Oh!
Alright, so...
Oh, you didn't mean literally on fire. Okay.
No. But, she steps out and she points up the road heading north towards the port and is like, I'm going this way. Where is it you and your friends are staying right now?
Well, we just arrived into town today, so we don't really have a place that we are staying at least I don't think. They might have found something, I don't know.
Well, you know, the tavern there is also the largest inn in the city, but if you find yourself not wanting to try and rest in all that rabble, then, well, my invitation stands.
Oh, thank you kindly.
How many are there of you besides yourself, of course?
There are 5 of us.
Ooh, 5. Well, I'm sure that if you make your way up there, I will find space for you all unless you find other arrangements.
Alright, well, I'll keep you posted on that.
Alright, well, like, she walks with you up the road until you get to the point where you pass the parking, as it were, and that's where you break off to head in there and sort of like, well, until tonight or tomorrow, whenever I see you again. She moves on with her crew. The crew are kind of been passing around the bottle of wine, and like they've got one glass that they've kind of been sharing to not drink from the bottle. Well, it's not a glass, it's a cup, because, you know, they didn't take the glass from the pub. They had like a cup in their pocket. Or one of them did. Because they don't want to be swigging from the bottle, because the captain frowns at such. Plus, she doesn't want to end up drinking from anything that they've had their lips on. That's if she does fancy more of it later. If it's not all gone. And yeah, so when you part ways, she just kind of blows a kiss, and like as her hand goes out to finish the blowing of the kiss, she like waves it as she, like, you know how it is? It's like, you know, the kiss, hand out, blow, and then the hand turns to be a wave.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I'm going to search for the kind of response that I'm looking for here.
The, what? Or to be more appropriate to the facial expression, a strawberry with the what face. Alright. Well, that, I think once everyone's back in the wagon, do we want to call it for today? Because people are hungry and we can start talking about what's going to happen next then.
Yeah, and since we'll redo a recap, I think it would make more sense plot-wise that the recap happens when tavern group tells what's going on to the card group.
Yeah, like we pick up on the same night, we don't just skip to the next day. Yeah. Because there's still things that, you know, we can do
just to
tonight.
get everyone on the same page in game.
Yeah. So the recap will be them telling what happened. And,
Yep.
Alright, so thank you for watching whether live or recorded. This has been Honor with Odin, Game Mastering Pathfinder Dragonfall, and I'll see you next time.